I would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous. Ay, please don't play no games with me. I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart. We always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat this submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk like the show. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling. They already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous.
Good evening. We are back at it, man. A late night segment. Shout out to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody in the building. Appreciate you guys popping out. I know there's a lot of lives going on. Shout out to my brother Ness over there, at the Boxing Voice. Shout out to my brother Johnny over at the Hangout spot. I know everybody's doing their thing right now, but definitely wanted to pop up and do that late night situation. Have some things I wanted to talk about. Thank you for everybody who popped up earlier on the earlier day show. We had a great interview on there. I spoke to manager of Julian Rodriguez, Dmitry Popov. If you guys popped into there, you saw that interview. Very informative interview. If you didn't see it, go ahead on the playback and catch that. But tonight, wanted to get a little bit more into the Zuffa boxing part of the conversation. So if it's not for you, I understand. But we want to talk a little bit on this segment about the event a little bit, but also really dialing into the press conference, the post-press conference that happened with Dana White and the things he was speaking about. Because I think, he kind of, he was having a little bit of a victory lap at the press conference, but more importantly, talking about some real, speaking to the elephant in the room, you know what I mean? As we're watching Oscar De La Hoya go through what he's going through with Virgil Ortiz, news coming out that they're going to have an emergency, court hearing on Friday to kind of figure out what's going to happen with that. He, you guys know, he put the restraining order on Virgil Ortiz, his ability to negotiate with Matchroom to make that fight happen with Jerron Boots Ennis. We know it's been an uphill battle for that fight to come together. And, for somebody who's speaking about what's best for the fighters and what's best for boxing, just so blatantly and emboldened to get in the way of the best fights happening, getting in the way of literally what his fighter wants to do, using his leverage that he has with the ironclad contract that he has over Virgil Ortiz to literally suppress this fighter's ability to move forward and make the biggest fights possible. So that's always interesting to watch that happen. He spoke a little bit towards the Eddie Hearn situation, and Eddie Hearn obviously being somebody who's a dynasty, right? A second generation boxing promoter. His father Barry Hearns put a lot of work in to give Eddie the position to be able to take advantage of what he's doing, but also just the lack of vision really in the space, the lack of vision for these promoters who have the inability to kind of put their pockets a little bit to the side. Everybody's here for their profits, but being able to put the sport first being maybe the biggest intangible, the biggest difference in the way maybe a Dana White and Zuffa and Turkey are approaching the sport versus, you know, the traditional way that promoters have always approached the sport. Fighters are becoming a lot more aware of this. And Dana spoke to the fact that I think he said it was like beating up babies, right? But maybe he might have been, you know, he was talking a little shit, right? But I think what he was really saying is that, you know, you guys are really helping me more than I thought you would. Where I thought maybe you'd be a little bit more competitive, a little bit more game of you to kind of put your best foot forward and make the biggest fights and do all these different things. But in essence, you're helping me. You're fueling the fire. You're doing the interviews, Mauricio Suleiman, that are just discrediting the value of your belt and the whole sanctioned body business model, the whole structure of it. Oscar, you're fueling my narrative, if you want to call it that, when you're sitting there and you're getting in the way of your fight. Your fighters are suing you to get out of contracts with you, and you're using your rights in the contracts, these ironclad contracts, to hold them, as Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz and other fighters are trying to find a way to maneuver around you and make things happen for themselves in their career in spite of your influence, is a very interesting subject, right? So we'll talk about a lot of that. We're going to play the pieces of the interview. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the card as well. And who knows, later on, we'll roll out into some other things, as I know there's a lot of topics going on out right now. People are really focused in on the Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney situation, as Keyshawn Davis is on a campaign right now. Listen, Keyshawn's doing his thing, right? He's out here doing the Where's Debo campaign, a real funny video, but this is part of building up a fight, right? And Bill's trying to play his part as well, but is Bill on the same page as Keyshawn right now? I don't know, right? It seems like he's kind of focusing on the Xander Zayas part of the conversation, which, listen, either way, fights are trying to be made. People understand what needs to be done, right? And we know this is obviously fight week as well. Ryan Garcia and the way he's moving is going to make a big difference on the results of that fight as to what happens next in the boxing space, because he's trending right now. When you think about, like I said earlier in the show earlier today, who is it? It's Ryan, it's Xander, it's Devin, and it's Shakur Stevenson, right? So everybody's kind of got their eye on Ryan right now, because it seems like he plays a big part in what's next in the American boxing space as far as the biggest fights that can be made. And, you know, 2026 rolling out to be one of those great years, coming off of Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez performance, and everything that also happened on that undercard with Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz and all those other fights, right? Shushu Carrington getting that beautiful knockout of the year candidate over Carlos Castro. But this card right here is probably the next up card, really big card. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios headlining the card, and then, of course, the undercard not being a lackluster undercard, right? Gary Antoine Russell defending his title, you know, all those fights. Richardson Hitchens, Oscar Duarte, Frank Martin's going to be on that undercard. So, but really all eyes on Ryan Garcia, because whatever he does next is going to hold a lot of weight as far as what happens next in maybe a Devin Haney's future, or Shakur Stevenson's future, or Conor Benn, or anybody involved with what Turkey, or what Showbiz alluded to is Turkey's idea to have a king of the ring with all these guys on the same card. So we'll be talking about all those things as you step into the building. Take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, man, I know there's a lot of things going on in the space right now, a lot of channels going. So I'm even seeing right now, we don't got a lot of people in the building right now. It is what it is, rolling as you see fit. The playback maybe might be better than anything, but the conversation is going to be a good conversation. You know how we carry it here. It's going to be a high level conversation. We're talking about some real boxing, almost the politics of the sport a little bit in this conversation. But I think it's going to be an interesting conversation, guys. Tap in, stay tapped in, and definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. But needless to say, I won't hold him back any longer, man. You didn't see him this morning. You didn't see him this weekend. It was his birthday this weekend on Sunday. And then today he had some personal things to handle, but he's back at it. He's back in rare form, ready to have this conversation. This was actually his idea to do this show. He really wanted to have this conversation as well. So I know he's super happy to get back to it. You guys welcome in there. Shout out to my guy, Angel. Right.
Good evening to everybody. Now, you know, the one thing I will say, Clay,
is that as people are, and really a lot of mainstream people, as a lot more people are really picking up and listening to our content and what we do here at ATP Combat, I'm not never worried about no replays, bro. Because the replays tend to go into the thousands. Because there's a couple of things that you guys will always love for the replay gang, as we can call them, right? Number one, it'll never be over 2 hours. So you never have to worry about trying to replay a 7 hour, 6 hour, everybody's talking or whatnot. And then the second thing is, yeah, man, the content's always going to be very specific. I want to compliment you, and for you guys who are listening either on replay or live right now, if you haven't listened to the Dmitry Pavlov interview with Claymore today, wow, that was some that was some Barbara Walters shit right there. that was very good, man. And again, I'm speaking from, as you know, the perspective of what most of our listeners don't know yet. So one of these days, when we finally do the other channel, people really find out what's going on. But managers, man, they don't normally talk that openly, right? And for Dmitry to be that open, and I mean, you got him to talk about that contract. I was like, wow, because
you never know. But I was gonna literally say, like, shout out to Dmitry Popov because he made it what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I did ask the questions and I poked, in certain areas that I wasn't too sure what kind of response I was going to get, but what made it what it was his openness, right? His transparency about everything. That's what made it a great interview, in my opinion, So shout out to Dmitry for sure.
Yeah, no. So you guys definitely need to check that out, because for a lot of you who have said, oh, Zuffa, man, it's going to be bad, or, oh, look at the UFC. When you guys listen to the actual manager talking about how things are done, how the contracts are set up, man, I can't think of, I won't misquote him, so I really just want you guys to go back and watch that replay of Claymore interviewing Dmitry. But he pretty much low-key said that currently right now it's still a mobster way. And thank goodness for Zuffa that they're around, because Zuffa's making everything a lot cleaner for everyone across the board, right? Which is why as you already said, Clay, I'm excited to do the show, because I don't think a lot of people really got to watch the post-fight press conference that Dana White did. And the reason why is something you've always alluded to. In boxing, we don't normally get the actual head of the promotion to go stand in front of the fire and get all the questions asked him and him answered back. Now, in my world and in your world too, Clay, being such a big UFC fan, you know that this is just par for the course, bro. The first face you see on every post-fight conference is Dana White, right? It's kind of like when you do an NBA interview, NFL interview. You're seeing the coach, the quarterback, you know what I mean? Like, who's the leader? Who's the one that's going to tell us on what just happened today, right? And Dana White is always that guy. He's the commissioner, the coach, the quarterback. And this one, bro, 15 minutes. But damn, did it tell us a lifetime of things that are about to happen.
It was a great 15 minutes. And Dana, the thing about Dana that separates him from a lot of other promoters is that the media is going to ask him questions. Like, he does it solo, right? He's not sharing the stage with a bunch of fighters, and he doesn't have the ability to direct the questions in other ways. And hey, it's not about me today, it's about these fighters. No, Dana comes out early and before the fighters, and he's exclusively sitting at the table. He runs down the numbers of the night, right? And then afterwards, he opens it up. So here he is. And, the pressure is obviously on Dana White at this point, because it's time to show and prove, right? There's been a lot of build up to Zuffa coming out all throughout 2025. Everybody knew what it was going to be. I mean, he had a decent, he had a big show with Canelo and Terrence Crawford that he was the head promoter of, I guess you could say. But this, is the project. This is the assignment that he's been given. So he's going to get asked the hard questions. You know what I'm saying? What do you think is happening? How do you feel about the turnout? How do you feel about the production? How do you feel about the fights? How do you feel about the scrutiny you're getting? You know what I mean? And he's going to be put on the spot, and he's going to answer it. And I think up until this particular press conference, he's been somewhat humble, right? Very like, hey, man, let's see how it rolls out. You know what I mean? I'm watching. this is the first levels, but this was the first press conference, I think, Angelo, to where he kind of like, and he didn't even go all the way in, but you know, kind of just let him, right? It could get worse. Dana's a very, you know what I mean? But you know, he was very just like, hey, for whatever it's worth, almost, you're asking me, so you want me to tell you what I think? Boom. And he kind of, you know, got into it a little bit. But like you said, super interesting 15 minutes of conversation he gave us. And I think it was very telling about, you know, the expectations, how he feels about where he's at right now in comparison to what he expected. And also maybe a little bit about, like, you know, the unforeseen thing. Like, who would have ever known these guys who were trying to compete with me would be so, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's like co-conspirators. Like, you guys are like working with me. Me, somebody might think I'm paying you guys off to move the way you're moving. Like, I didn't see you being self-sabotaging. I thought you put the best foot forward. I thought no competition, great cards. And listen, for whatever it's worth, especially on the Eddie Hearn side of the conversation, he's put out the fights that he could put out. He's doing the job. He put out Andy Moritaya. He was there.
He did.
Promoting the he was part of the TFP Motion Course rollout. He's part of the conversation, right? But I think on the back end of all the scrutiny, it kind of throws shade on what they're doing, right? Because now you're putting yourself in the magnifying glass in the crosshairs of the public scrutiny, because, okay, you're talking, but now you have the public looking at you, right? Because a guy who's talking, yeah, you might do a good job of throwing shots at me. You might feel like you hurt me, but now we're looking at you as the outside. We're looking at you. So we're looking at what you're doing with some perspective. We're expecting something huge, right? And we're in two different lanes. You're the this is your weight class, right? This is where you play at.
This is where you live.
Show me how to do it, player. Put me on. I'm trying to be like you, I think. Or am I?
It's definitely feeling like how Shakur Stevenson moved up to 140 when everybody thought, oh, well, Tio, he's athletic. He's this, he's that. He beat Lomachenko. He did this. This should be competitive. And I'm sure Shakur thought that too. I'm sure Shakur thought that, where he was like, well, this should be competitive. Wasn't even a competition, man. And that's pretty much what Dana was saying is, it's like beating up babies, bro.
Like, and he said it like surprisingly, right? When he said it, it was more like shockingly enough. It's like, I didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was like, yo, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not seeing it. So, you know, Dana spoke, and I think what Dana is really speaking to, like I said, is just like, did you guys not see me coming?
Right.
Your doors are open, the gates are open. You didn't fix the holes in the wall. You're permeable. It's so easy. It's almost unfair for me to talk down on you right now, because it would look like I'm kicking you while you're down a little bit. And I don't want to do that. I want you to be a fighter. I want the guy. You know what I mean? I'll pick up the sword.
It's kind of like when Floyd was fighting Cotto, and remember he was helping fund Cotto's camp, and he would always say, No, I want him to be comfortable. I want him to be at his best so that when we fight, there's no excuses. And that's kind of what Dana.
It's like you're taking away from my victory a little bit. I'm kind of almost a little frustrated and upset with you, because it doesn't seem like it's fair. But look, let's let Dana. Let's tap in a little. Go ahead. You want to say something?
One more thing, and then let's listen to the interview. It's so cool that in this channel we've had Van Houter confirm it, Julian Rodriguez confirm it. Today you had Dmitry Pavlov confirm it. When you say the words, hey man, I thought you guys knew I was coming. Dude, the boxing world is a very tight-knit small group. How did you guys not know that people were getting signed in 2024 and 2025 already? Early 2025, late 2024, early 2025, and these fighters were being told within the same boxing circles, hey man, we're not going to roll out till 2026, but we need you to be ready, right? I mean, he came out guns blazing. So go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, no doubt. So I mean, right here we got Dana, you know what I'm saying, at the press conference. I tried to cue it up good. Let's see where we're at with it. and see what happens here. But let's see. Let's see.
Well, he pretty much starts right off the beginning, but let's see, because right from the get-go, it just goes bang, 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 bang.
Right.
And he's really quick like that. So you can play it from the beginning. He goes really right into it if you want to.
Right. I just kind of skipped over the numbers. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Just
Okay.
going right to the first question right here. And I think this is it.
All right.
Tonight. In a way, does that almost do your job signing?
Well, let's go.
They're being treated like athletes and they feel like professionals.
Let's go right here.
The headquarters here are telling their people, like, I feel like I'm getting signed by the New England Patriots, or
Yeah.
they feel like they're being treated.
If you go a little bit
athletes
before
and they
that,
feel like
so you can
bullshit.
so that
Talk
everybody
about
can hear the
boxing, how much
question,
money
bro.
everybody makes and all this other stuff. It's an absolute myth and it's total bullshit.
These guys feel like when they come into the
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, you got to go from the beginning, Clay, because
Yeah.
I've listened to this like 3 times.
Antonio Marco fight of the night.
All right, hold on. Clay, stop for a second. Time out.
It feels like
Time out for a second. Okay, right off the bat, let me just explain again to everybody who's going to get to watch us from the replays and everybody who is watching us live right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. The fact that Dana White, $50,000 for Benito, and to be fair, Clay, I knew who Benito was, but
Right.
a lot of people did not know who
I
he
didn't know,
was.
for sure.
Right. Okay. $50K for him. $50K for the knockout of the year, bro. That was amazing by the guy that's very difficult to pronounce his name. For now, we'll learn it. We promise.
Becco. I call him Becco.
Yeah, Zumbekov, I think. Yeah, but you're right. Right? 50, and fight of the night was the one in the prelims, right? Between
with
Buke
and Woods.
and Woods, right?
Right.
So Dana is rewarding everyone, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Bukes and Woods got more money than Pacheco did on his last fight in Stockton. So right off the bat, again, get used to this, guys. Dana's just giving out money. Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Let's see here.
a lot to choose from, but for me, this one felt like the best super boxing event so far. Would you agree? What were your thoughts on the night?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're only going to get better, as we continue to, figure things out, do what we do. Like I said, at the end of this year, judge us on our body of work, I would say.
Are you still seeing production things that you want to change, or at this point is it now moving on to the matchmaking and just differences in matchmaking?
No, I'm going to be working on the production for the next 5 years. So, yeah, I won't be happy for,
I want to stop here real quick, right? Because once again, I said it earlier, right, Angelo? For the most part, Dana's he understands the position he's in, and he doesn't want to make it. He doesn't want to raise the bar so high. He wants to over deliver on what he's promising. So he's very aware and conscious about the position he's taking, right? To say, you know what? The production, I'm going to be working on the production for the next 5 years. So don't ask me. I'm going to always have some scrutiny for the production. But, you know, obviously we're watching it and we know the production's high level, but this is his approach for the most part because he understands how to play the game. He understands that what he's doing is he's hiding his cards. This is the poker. This is what Dana does when he's at a table gambling $100,000, $200,000, a million dollars in it, right? This is what he does, right? This is the game. I'm waiting. We haven't even got to the bridge. You feel me? I don't know what's gonna pop up. I'm hoping it's looking good, but you ain't gonna know. Look, man, we're working, man, and we're playing the game. We're playing for the win. At the end of the game, I want to get everything in the pot. So nobody at the table needs to know exactly what's in my hands. Just know that you're dealing with a very confident player, right? And he knows how to play his cards.
Yeah, and let me just add again, for you guys who really want to pay attention the way me and Clay are paying attention to the movement of how things are going in all of boxing, I can't remember a promoter ever, Claymore, ever, having headphones while he's watching the event so he can check and see if production sound and quality is going on. And if you guys watch the fight, when Dana's watching it, he's got the headphones on. And he's feeling the live, and he's looking at the camera. Man, this guy is all about it, Clay. He's all about making everything better.
Yeah, it's just who he is, man. If you like you said, if you followed him and seen him work before, you understand. And that's why, even though the UFC was sold off, the people who bought it hired him. Right? He made I think he made like 200 million or something on that deal when he could have just went off into the sunset. They hired him back, bro. They were like, no, we want you to be part of the deal. What are you talking about, man? It's yours. I'm out. I'm about to go, nah, bro. Yeah, we kind of need you because they know, you know what I mean, what he brings to the table. But let's let Dana cook.
For a very long time on the production.
You know, when we come in here for the Contender Series, we often talk about the nerves these guys feel like when they come into the Apex. It feels to me like some of these guys don't suffer those nerves. Do you think that's just because they're experienced boxers, or do you think it's because they're seeing an opportunity that's not really available to them?
I wouldn't say they don't feel the nerves. I mean, I think every fighter and every combat sport feels nerves. What I smell in this new world we're living in is opportunity, is what I smell. I think that a lot of these guys, you know, there's all this bullshit talk about boxing and how much money everybody makes and all this other stuff. It's an absolute myth and it's total bullshit. And these guys are now a part of something that's either has never been or hasn't happened in a very long time, and they all feel it. I mean, some of the kids that walk through the
Hold on, because he's about to speak about really what we were talking about here and what Jaleel really brought up here and his father brought up as far as they're about to do the comparison to the NFL, right? To the whole draft thing and that whole feeling. And obviously they're talking amongst themselves, you know, as far as Jaleel and Mozzie and Julian,
Rob,
you know, all the young Rob Merriweather, all the young guys specifically, right? Maybe not so much F.A. Jogba or Charles Martin, who just more appreciative of the opportunity, but they, you know, they're trying to catch up on the career they may have lost out on a little bit due to the politics. But these young guys haven't necessarily been burned yet, but they're very excited. They're very excited, right? And they're loving it because for the first time they're getting treated like athletes. You know what I mean? Like what he's about to speak on right now. You know what I'm saying? And that right there being something that's more exciting than anything for them, more than them being nervous. Because why are they nervous, Angela? Why are they nervous when they go out to these events, right? They're nervous because if they lose, they know the ramifications, right? They understand, right? So they're super nervous. They're super nervous. They know how important every fight is. What they say, what did Dana say? A fire sale, right? So now they're in a situation to where I'm not going nowhere, bro. I'm being developed. They're investing too much in me to just let me go to the side because I get a loss, bro. They gotta have to recoup it. So I got a real opportunity here to build myself up and build my brand up. So I'm gonna let Dana speak on it, but you know, he's going right. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that shout out to Terrence Crawford. If you guys ever want to watch that interview when he was on interview with Usman and Henry Cejudo. And you hear Terrence Crawford say to both of them, hey, man, I got to credit MMA because boxing fans isn't like that, where if you lose one time, you're a loser. But in your world, in the UFC, there can be people with multiple losses, and it doesn't even hurt them at all because they're just there to fight. And he was pretty much saying it in that cadence. And I think, to your point, Clay, that's what Dana's already proven in just the third fight to all these boxers. Hey, man. We got you. Just go out there and fight. Go get your 50. Go get your what you need to do. Go do your thing.
Yeah. Without a doubt, man. Let's see.
You know, the headquarters here are telling their people, like, I feel like I'm getting signed by the New England Patriots, or they feel like they're being treated like athletes and they feel like professional athletes. So the more that starts to happen and the more this starts to feel like home, I think you're going to see a lot of what you saw tonight.
In a way, does that almost do your job signing new athletes for you, right? These guys come in here, they get that experience, and then they're going to go and tell other boxers what it's like coming here. And do you expect that over time, everyone's going to kind of want a piece of this, feeling like a professional athlete?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't like coming into these things and talking too much about, but at the end of this year, just watch what I mean, I haven't said anything about Eddie Hearn. Me and De La Hoya are what we are. The WBC, I haven't said anything about. They don't stop talking.
Okay, so we know it's about to get spicy. We know where it's about to go, right? We're pretty much we know where it's about to go.
Let me first say this. Right? Yeah. You have to, and you're good at reading expressions. Right. But when you saw Dana and he was holding back what he's filtering in his head. I don't want to talk too much crap. But when he did that little smile, that smirk, like, man, you guys don't even know all the people that we're signing right now, right? Tio was there already. Caleb Plant was there last week. Like, all these guys that's why he pauses and he says, just wait, let's wait till the end of the year. Let's wait.
Right. He's still, like I said, right? He's still trying to reserve the
Right.
victory lap, right? He's still trying to be
Right.
like, I'm trying my best to stay like, and he lets you know, like, unlike my competitors who are just on a campaign, every time they get a microphone in front of them, they can't stop. You know, obviously the questions are being asked to them, and that's just to show you how trending we are, that the reporters are like, yo, what about Zuffa?
Right.
What's going on? Like,
Right.
what do you got to, hey man, he's doing this, but hey man, you're trying to dismiss it. But like right here in this moment, he's just like, I'm gonna share a little. That's what he's letting you know, right? I'm gonna share a little bit because I'm tired of just dismissing the questions. And you guys know I try to be transparent with you guys. You guys are the media, and I don't want to be the guy who's always filibustering or, you know what I'm saying, or beating around the bush on stuff. So if you're asking me, let me say to you in the most frank way I can say to you, and let me talk to you. And Dana, talk to him, Dana.
BC and Eddie Hearn and all the shit that De La Hoya talks. I mean, we all know he's fucking mentally ill, but you know, the guy's, you know, talking all this shit, and place is in foreclosure. He's suing his fighters to try to stay with him. Has he done a clapback Thursday recently? I would fucking love to see an episode of Clapback Thursday this Thursday from Oscar De La Hoya. But
by the way, I got a feeling we're not going to see one, being that Friday morning he'll be in court trying to fight for his right to enforce a quote unquote ironclad contract he has with Virgil Ortiz, as Virgil Ortiz and his team are relentlessly fighting back and trying to get out of that contract. He had to put that restraining order, you know about it, Angelo, right?
Yeah,
to get in the way of this fight happening with Jerome Buchanan. So they're already activating and moving accordingly as people who are not in contract with him. He's legitimately not on the same page as his fighter. But like Dana said, man, you're suing your fighters to stay with you. Same thing with Ryan Garcia, right? Threatening him threatening him with situations. This is not the first time we're seeing Oscar go through this. And to be somebody who's throwing rocks, right? Who's from the Clapback Thursdays, you're throwing rocks, to see you going through all these issues. To say there's irony there is an understatement, right? To say that there's irony there, and Dana's like basically like, damn, bro, I can't wait for the next Clapback Thursday. How are you going to deflect this and turn this into Dana White is bad for boxing? Is Dana bad for boxing? What do you think, Angelo?
No, and that's the thing is, and I know for you guys who have known us here in this space at ATP Combat Media for a bit, we were the first ones. I'm gonna say it, Clay, because I did not hear any other person supporting Zuffa the way we were supporting it, and in particular to the point where people were saying I must be getting paid by Zuffa and I must be working for Dana White, and people would say I'm Reyes White. Well, let me just say this in real time. If you're seeing what Oscar's doing, which is I'm going to sue Virgil so he can't put food on his table to go do the career that he invested his time in. On the flip side of that, earlier this morning, if you guys watch Claymore Reigns' interview with Dmitry Popov, Dmitry said they signed him over a year ago.
Right.
Then went ahead and told them, hey, why don't you? You got a contract with MVP. That's great.
Yeah.
No, please do that. Please. We'd love for you to do that, right? They were supportive of it. And he even doubled down today by saying, there's no supportive of it right now. They even renegotiated to up his pay.
But Angelo, right? Let's not make it, let's paint it in a realer way so people don't think we're painting Dana as like the, you know, Michael the Archangel, you know what I'm saying? Just selfless. No, in all of his selfishness, understanding how to read the room, that's just going to help you get bigger, which in turn helps me get bigger. So why would I jump in front of you blowing your brand up, a brand that I plan on capitalizing off of to build my brand? He can read the room, which is kind of like when he gets into it about the beating up the babies, just in shock of how self-sabotaging you guys are, cutting your nose off to spite your own face. Right? As you're getting in the way of your fighter becoming one of the faces of boxing, getting an opportunity to fight against Jerome Boots Ennis on the back end of a face-off that ended last year that shook up the space, right? Everybody's looking. You have an opportunity to show me as your competitor and the world, this is how you do boxing. And what do? You get caught up in the pennies in your pocket. You become greedy. You get in the way to the point where one of your star fighters, probably the biggest star you have on there besides a arguably chemically imbalanced Ryan Garcia, the biggest star you've got him looking at you crazy like, I need to get up out of here. I can't believe this dude is moving this way. Rick Meridian said, you keep going on with these clapback Thursdays, and literally that's what we're using against you because you're speaking against the best interest of your fighter. And I'm here as the manager to protect my fighter. Shout out to Dmitry Popov, right?
Yeah.
Because I spoke to him about things earlier today. If you guys saw that interview, you'd understand how I'm connecting those dots, right? How Dmitry Popov is in the same position as Rick Meridian, and Rick Meridian is doing his job, right? And you try to sue Rick Meridian and say, get out the way of me doing what I want to do, which isn't in the best interest of a fighter. Intelligent, by the way. I've spoken to Virgil Ortiz before. Super articulate, super intelligent, borderline nerd. Respectfully, how intelligent he really is. He's not going to go for that. So once again, speaking to the elephant in the room, which is, where's the common sense here? These guys I may have been giving these guys more credit than they even deserved. And you're talking to somebody who gave this guy no credit, right? That's what Dana's saying. I ain't even give him no credit, but I might have gave him too much credit in the little bit of credit that I gave him because I was so reserved with the credit I was giving him, but I got to pull that back. You might be dumber than I actually thought you were, which is saying a lot because I already told you earlier. I think you're deadwood, you're a goldfish. You know what I mean? You're a goldfish to me. Like you have no vision. But this is insane. Better than I thought it was going to be. Let Dana speak on. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, I mean everybody feels it. It's already happening, and it's going to be a fun year.
Do you feel like the more those guys are talking, the more it kind of shows that they're aware of how serious?
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we're in our third event here, and we're already in 18 territories across the world on television and on Paramount here in the United States, and the list gets bigger every week. I mean, it's 18 right now. I think it was 16 when I told you at Zuffa Boxing 2. So it's just going to keep getting bigger and more and more and more. And, I mean, UFC BJJ is in 9 territories. We just signed Globo in Brazil. Going to be on the biggest network in Globo. I mean, this is what we do. And these guys are all feeling it.
A couple outside of tonight. Today, Cain Velasquez got released from.
Yeah, he's going to speak on Cain, but he's going to bring it back full circle. But 18 territories, Angelo. I don't know
18 territories, and it went that fast, Clay, because this is just the third show. So remember, it was less than 16 in Zuffa 1. Then it was 16 in Zuffa 2. Now he's at 18 territories. And if you guys don't understand that, we're talking like Africa, Philippines, like these are television territories, right? And everybody knows that in the boxing world, I've never really spoken about this before, but in the boxing world, and Clay, who my mentor was and who I was under and learning the promotional side. I mean, the guy's a genius. TV rights deals is what gives you the majority of the budget. So if you're flying your fighter to Argentina, there's a territory rights deal to whatever that television is that's showing it to South America. There's going to be a pool of money that comes out, and then you divvy up and you do the budget off that. The fact that not only does Dana White have the $100 million the Paramount's given him for just Zuffa Boxing, he also has whatever budget Turkey's putting out. He also has the overall Paramount deal. However, he wants to spread $7.7 billion. And the reason why I speak on that, Clay, is remember that advertising costs money, right?
Right.
So when you see a UFC fight or a power slap, and then what they're doing is advertising Zuffa Boxing, that money wasn't free. They had to pay for it, right?
Right.
So the
right.
fact that they're using these events to help Zuffa boxing is only going to make Zuffa boxing grow to even more territories, right?
Right.
And now you got, I don't know how much money 18 territories is, but it's a lot. It's
Right.
a lot. Like,
Right.
you know, it's a lot. So when
100%.
you guys are wondering how much did the FA job get paid, he got paid high enough that he's happy. And so did Charles Martin, by the way, who you interviewed, Clay,
Yes,
and
sir.
told you it was like being a starving artist, bro, a former world champion telling you that when you interviewed him. That's sad, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he didn't say that word for word, right? But what he did say was after every single fight, he felt unemployed, right? He said,
Right.
I'm unemployed. He could never, you know, I'm the one who added that, like a starving artist. You know what I'm saying? You do
But
a
it is.
concert, you do a show at a bar, you're not guaranteed, you're not on tour. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're doing a
Right.
show and you're happy you did it, and you're hoping somebody saw you, found interest in you, and they're looking to book you somewhere else, right? Nothing's
Right.
promised. That's how a starving artist operates. And you got to think, when you're trying to operate as an athlete at the highest level, could you imagine if people in the NFL, just to kind of give a quick little example to see if I could put some perspective on it, if somebody in the NFL played a game this week against the Bills and was like not guaranteed to get a game next week, how do you work out? How do you come to practice every single week and risk going to practice 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row and still waiting on a phone call like, do we got a game coming up yet? No, I don't mind practicing yet. My knee's okay. It's a little bit hurt. Yeah, I sprained my ankle a little bit. But you know, hey man, it is what it is. We sacrificing for what we love, right? But I can't wait for the next game, man, because I'm trying to make sure I pay the rent. And you got a wife at the crib, like, you're not a football player. You kind of playing out here, bro. Go get a job, man. I can't hold this down. No, the contract makes sense because you're promising me time on the field, games. I'm getting paid per games. I can calculate and get a real hold of what my future is going to be, right? I can really get an idea and I can plan stuff. I can financially invest into certain situations. I can buy real estate. I can open up businesses. I can get myself ready for the end of this very important prime time in my life, to where I'm at my athletic peak and I can take advantage of every bit of youth and vitality that I have in me to capitalize on it and give my best effort to get my biggest bag of money. Because a lot of these fighters, let's be honest, when you're looking at a Charles Martin or maybe an FA Jogba, and a lot of these fighters, they're aging these guys out of their prime. They're aging them out. These guys are ready to show out in a way. They got a small window to do it in. I'll never forget, and I'll get right back to the video, when Caleb Plant said, when he did that long hiatus before he actually getting in the ring with Trevor McCumbee, right? Specifically, I'm going to bring up that fight right there. He hadn't fought in like about 2 years, year and a half, right? And he said, man, I sparred so much, I was getting injuries. You know what I'm saying? During the sparring. And he was just happy to get a fight because he spent so much just staying active and doing all that sparring in the gym. He was getting more injuries in the gym than he was in the ring. So, aging these guys out, wearing and tearing on these guys who are waiting for an opportunity, right, to show out and make some money. You got to ask yourself, what does that do to a fighter's disposition? Does that discourage him? Where does the will come in to actually be the best fighter they can be? And when they do finally get the phone call, are they that person, and are they able to show out and translate all of that in the ring that night? When you watch Caleb Plant get knocked down twice against Trevor McCumbee, or lose that fight against Armando Resendez, I think there was a legitimate argument there to say that Caleb Plant may have been the best 168-pounder after David Benavidez left the division, and of course, not including the undisputed champion in Canelo Alvarez, but sure didn't look like that against who the hell is a Trevor McCumbee the night he fought him and won that fight, right? So that just kind of shows you to get some perspective on the idea of a fighter who may feel like a starving artist, right? Who doesn't know when that next fight is going to be, but still is required to stay in shape, stay ready, so they don't got to get ready. But let's let Dana kind of build on this a little more here.
Prison. I know you were a big supporter of him, wrote a letter for him. How happy are you to finally see that issue behind him and him get to go home?
Yeah, I'm happy for him, obviously, to get home to his family and, what they went through. If that was,
I'll fast forward, but I'm not going to fast forward. We know what's going
in jail
on
this whole time, but yeah.
And then obviously, look, You had the matchmaking for the White House. I know you're not announcing anything tonight, but I'm sure you have a frame White House
Got the White House
title fight.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. But
It's a commercial.
Yep.
I got a chance to speak to Andre Ward last week in San Francisco at the Super Bowl, and we talked about the WBC stripping Shakur Stevenson. He obviously had his own thoughts about the sanctioning bodies and that situation. Did you have any thoughts when you saw that was happening?
I think that the guy from the WBC is the greatest PR thing to ever happen for Zuffa boxing. I mean, that guy should just keep doing interviews every day. Keep talking. It's incredible. Love it.
And then out in Los Angeles, the All-Star game, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics had some comments saying possibly about fighting post-playing career, saying he's spoken to you about that. He's boxing and MMA. Also, Max Crosby. I'm sure you've been approached your whole career about athletes and celebrities thinking they can fight. Are these conversations with Max and Jaylen more serious, or?
I talked to Max last night, actually. You know, these guys are obviously stud athletes, but coming over here is so different. Obviously, if Jaylen,
I want to put some perspective on this part of the conversation, because somebody might be like, maybe in your mind, you might run into YouTube. Oh, YouTuber. Oh, he's going to put on these fighters, guys. No, I want to put some perspective on it, Angelo, and I want to try to give some perspective here. Why, if I were to ask the space, and even you, Angelo, but I know you're going to know the answer immediately, right? But I'm going to still bring it to the table and say, why would it be significant that athletes in the NBA and possibly the NFL, who more than likely, if they were to get in, were probably heavyweights, right? Probably heavyweights, right? Why is that significant? Well, why is the American heavyweight scene look the way it does, in your opinion, Angelo?
Yeah, it's because a lot of these guys, like Max Crosby and Jaylen Brown, would have been the heavyweight champion of the world back in the 80s.
Or at least competed.
Right? Or competed in the Olympics, right? But this whole inclusion of just boxing
isolation,
being just isolation, right? Yeah. Of this weirdness of what boxing was doing to itself, eating itself, being a fire sale, huge pay-per-views. It made the public go, I can't afford to watch that, but I can afford to watch free NBA TV. I can't afford to watch free NFL TV.
Which caused the athletes who would have been boxers to do what?
To go all to those sports, man. Oh, but more importantly, by the way, a sport that has structure, a structure of business, a structure of pay, right? Insurance, like it was structured. And in the meantime, here you are, you're going through the 90s to the early 2000s to the 2010s. And even when PBC got all that hundreds of $millions of money, and remember at one time they were even talking about how there might be a PBC league. Well, that didn't work out because you know what? You didn't understand. You didn't understand the very thing that Dana White had already built the minute he asked his best friends, the Fertitta brothers, to lay down $2 million to please buy this. And I swear to you, we're going to make this whole thing work, dude. And what has Dana always told us, Clay? He said he took everything he hated about boxing and everything he loved about boxing, and he put it into the UFC and turned it into the business that it's in now. So one more point I wanted to say, Clay, is this is also significant that you're pausing and you're bringing this up, because guess what, guys? In order for boxing to grow, especially in the United States of America, where it is the biggest market for everyone to make the most money, we're the country that can make you the most money. We can do that. We have the most consumer base. We could totally make you rich and famous. In order for that to happen, though, people have to talk about boxing the same way Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather got made in center court on an NBA game. That's how that happened, right? So the fact that there's an NBA press conference, Clay, at the All-Star game, Clay, and they're asking, and Jaylen Brown's the one bringing it up. And yeah, man, I totally want to be a fighter, right? And Max Crosby, bro, I mean, I'm just saying, you guys know I'm a huge Raider fan, been Raider fan all my life.
Right.
The fact that Max Crosby actually spars people who are champions
lets
and
you
is
know
doing it.
What they, it lets you know what they would potentially will speculate, right? To say that potentially what they would have done if that would have been a legitimate lucrative option for them. Right. And shout out to Lominos in the building. Shout out Lomino. Hope you subscribe to the channel, by the way, because I don't really remember you being here before, but I thought this was significant enough to bring up to the screen. Say Greg Hardy came from the NFL playing for the Panthers, and he was in the top 10 heavyweights in the world. Yeah, because he's an athlete, right? And he's a big athlete, and he's probably been boxing the whole time while he was in the NFL, just in the gym practicing. So he was able to allow that to translate. But of course, imagine the kind of fighter he would have been if he would have just committed to the sport and had dreams and aspirations, like let's say Mozzie Van Houter, right? Clearly, when you look at Mozzie Van Houter, this dude could be a fucking tight end in the NFL easily.
Oh, for sure.
You know
for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even Jaleel has told us if he knew he was going to get that big, he'd be playing wide receiver.
Right.
But he didn't know.
Little coach.
Yeah.
Little coach. So yeah, so very interesting, right? Let's let Dana finish cooking, man. But I wanted to stop because people might look at it and be like, oh man, now you're talking about bro. This is a very significant part of this conversation.
Right.
Brown and Max Crosby are interested in fighting. I thought Jalen was messing with me when he told me that, but apparently he's not. And he was training over at the PI. I don't know if you knew that, but last couple of days he was over there working on his Muay Thai. So I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that these guys want to try to fight.
Could Max Crosby save the UFC heavyweight division?
I don't know. Possibly.
When you think about, you talk about judge us on the year, what do you think, like how big are storylines and building characters to you right now? Or is it more about just like showing that you can put on a consistent quality product in boxing?
That's all of it. All of it. I mean, you have to put on a good, consistent product. You have to have great matchmaking. I mean, we're doing everything that we told you we would do. And it just keeps getting better. So start tweaking the live events, start tweaking the television product, matchmaking, getting better and better. And what we do is we go out and we sign the best fighters in the world, the people that we think have the potential to be world champions, and they all fight each other until we find out who is the best in the world. That's what we do. There's no secret to it.
Well, and after the last one a couple of weeks ago, you said that you were a lot further along than you expected. Is that what you meant with the talent?
Yeah,
it was with the talent. These conversations with the talent.
The talent is flooding in. Yeah, the talent is flooding in. Yeah.
Very interesting, you know what I mean? Because I want people to understand that whenever you're looking at these events and you're seeing these fighters in the audience, you're looking at Teofimo in there, you're looking at Tito Mercado out there, you're looking at Caleb Plant shaking hands with Nick Khan, you're looking at Teofimo sitting directly next to Nick Khan. This is not by chance, right? This is not for the looks of it. Fighters understand, and that's why I always say one of the biggest things, Angelo, that makes me get behind what Zuffa's doing. And I've gotten to a place where I get a lot of hell, right? Because I'm on other platforms. I'm on the Boxing Boys. I'll go to Johnny at time to time, so I get hell, right? Oh, you're glazing the Zuffa boxing. You're supporting Dana White. No, yes, but no. What I'm supporting is the fighters,
right?
All right, and the fighters who have been in this business in a traditional sense for however many years they've been in that space are coming over, like Dana said, flooding. Very intrigued and very interested in what is this? What's going on here? Because I may be looking for a better opportunity than where I'm at.
Right.
And the conversation being there, Bam Rodriguez entertaining this as a legitimate option speaks, right? Speaks to this opportunity. And so I'm supporting the fighters.
Yeah, and can I just say this too, Clay, when you speak on Bam Rodriguez, let's not get it twisted for everyone who's listening to us live right now or on replay. Bam signed a contract to be with Zuffa Boxing. That's how real that is. And I'm familiar with this because the contract stipulation that you sign sometimes, depending on how your manager negotiated a contract, is there's this thing that happens from the original promoter that signed you called the first right of your refusal, which essentially means you're a restricted free agent, right? And what that, and if you guys who watch NFL, you'll understand what I mean about being an RFA, a restricted free agent. Hey, we'll let you go out and test the market, but we reserve the right to match whatever the highest offer is. So literally what happened with Bam Rodriguez, guys, if you guys really dive into it, is he got an offer to extend with Matchroom. Bam said, all right, cool, I'm going to go test the market. Dana and Zuffa Boxing's team gave him so much money that Bam right away was like, oh, I'm in. And he signed it. Never in his world, never in Bam's thinking process did he think Eddie would actually match it. And the reason why I'm saying that, Clay, not to sound like I'm hating on Eddie, because you know I don't hate Eddie.
Yeah,
you know I
Eddie.
support Eddie, right? We love Eddie. But if you were willing to give him that much money in the first place, Eddie, why didn't you just give it to him in the first place? Because now Bam is sitting there going, what am I in? What am I
with the German Shepherd?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you hit him with the German Shepherd, like the, you know what I mean? The ears go up, you know what I mean? Let me raise my good ear to kind of, you know what I mean? Let my good ear hear what's going on out here. And yeah, bro, without a doubt, you know what I'm saying? And once again, coming full circle back to what? Vision, the lack of vision, the understanding of the bigger picture is everything being so right here in front of my nose, making that what it is. And Dana explaining the idea behind having the vision and knowing that everything we put into it now will reap tenfold. 5 to 10 years down the line, we'll reap tenfold just off the product that we're pushing out of the situation. Shout out to JD for the 321 who says, waited on this show all day. I'm hooked on Zuffa like a fiend on crack. Hope one day you can put a link, tell the story how I helped my friend sign with Zuffa. No doubt.
Hey, JD, listen, man, we're doing our thing. We got the 2-hour window, but if we finish this Dana up a little sooner, Clay might let you get in here and tell us that fun story that happened with you and your friend.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out. He says the talent is flooding in my favorite line. No doubt, man. For sure, man. It is what it is, right? So let's let Dana cook a little more.
Can you clarify? So you when you were answering the question about the White House, you said you had 2 options, but then you said it was done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we laid out 2 different options. I didn't say it was done. I said the card was built. Yeah.
The more you stay home, the less you want to leave. And the more you stay, the heavier everything feels.
It's done. I'm not talking about the White House card.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And then, but just one other question about the White House, though, was like, as far as announcing the card, do you feel like, you know, in the media world that we're in, it's enough to just put it out, or do you feel like that? Is there like some kind of special announcement that we should be expecting, or is it just like, hey, tell people what the card is, and the media will do, you know, their thing, or do you?
Yeah, we don't know yet. As we get close, we've been kicking around a lot of ideas, and I don't know. Me and Borsari actually fly to DC this week and sit down with the president and his team and start walking them through not just the production but the fight card. We have like 3 different options on all the different production stuff, and event is going to be so badass.
Over here. FA Jogba earlier this week said that Charles Martin was a guy that refused to spar him way back, and now fast forward, got to fight him this week. So pretty satisfying for him to be able to go out and do what he did today. So what was your thoughts on that?
He refused to do what?
Charles Martin refused to spar FA a while back, and then ultimately now they're fighting, and you saw what happened. So what was your thoughts on the main event, how it ended?
Yeah, I listen, the main event was awesome. I thought it was a great fight. The whole main card was incredible. So yeah, I don't know about the sparring stuff. Talk to them about that.
Yeah. And Teofimo Lopez was in the building tonight. Paramount showed him on the broadcast. He seemed to be enjoying the fights from start till he left. Is that a guy you guys been talking with, Teofimo Lopez?
I'm interested in everybody.
Ooh.
Zuffa Boxing 4 comes right after the.
I mean, do we need to pause and stop on that? I think he said it all right there, right? Like,
hey man, look, listen, all the rumors you guys keep hearing, all the rumors we keep telling you about, Usyk, Andy Ruiz, all of them want to be with Zuffa. if somebody's trying to tell you that, nah, they'd never signed with Zuffa, why not? Because Jai Apataya is fighting March 8th for the first ever
about to talk about
Zuffa Boxing Championship. Ooh, I know I'll be there, Clay, because I ain't missing a historical event like that. So, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
UFC 326, the Holloway Oliveira. It's going to be a big week. I think you guys got BJJ going on as well. It came up in conversation the other day. Since the event is on Sunday, the UFC has their event out there at the T-Mobile. You have the fan experience. Is there any possibility to do like a ceremonial weigh-ins for the Zuffa Boxing at the fan experience, since they already have that stage built into with the fan experience stuff?
Yes. You'll be hearing about all that soon. Yeah. You'll hear from Lene.
That's great news. And I guess just the fans tonight, I think that was the first time I think that's the loudest I've ever heard it in here. Did you feel like tonight was probably the loudest it's ever been?
Yeah, it was. The energy in here tonight was great. But usually when you get great fights, you get great energy. So
yeah. And the main event was definitely fun. But what was your thoughts on the co-main event and actually the Benito fight?
Yeah,
I thought those fights were incredible.
Unbelievable. I agree. The whole main card absolutely delivered. Great fights. It was a good card tonight. The whole card was great. Yeah.
Hey, can you pause that for a second, Clay?
Here. 3 fights in.
Okay, so that's a significant part, and I just want to throw this out so you guys can understand. Dana's saying that that's the loudest it's ever been, including UFC Fight Night, including UFC Vegas, whenever they do the Apex. My dear friend, Ken Hathaway, who was asking that question, shout out to MMA Junkie, and thank you for letting us use the footage here, he's asking the question because even Ken himself, who's one of the best journalists out there who covers the MMA world and the UFC and everything else, he's like, oh my God, this place is rocking, right? Because Clay, what have you and I always talked about with boxing? Boxing, when it's given to you in its purest form, it's the most exciting thing you're going to watch. It's extremely exciting. And that night, Zuffa Boxing 3, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched it yet, please go to Paramount Plus and watch the replay. 8 fights, Clay. 6 of them were knockouts. One of them, which wasn't a knockout, was fight of the night.
Fight of the night, right.
Bro, come on. A 90% rate of satisfaction. Dude, even if this was Rotten Tomatoes, bro, everybody would be talking about the movie,
right.
of Zuffa Boxing 3.
Right. And it's all about the matchmaking and the intentional matchmaking, right? That's what makes it like that, and that's what makes it unique. And honestly, even on the turkey cards, fighters you never heard of giving you fights where you're like, damn, that was a good ass fight. Damn, who was those guys? Right? So
An excellent matchup. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, most of the fights tonight ended in a stoppage except for one. What has been the biggest pushback that you have gotten from the traditional boxing establishments?
What's been the biggest pushback? There hasn't been any pushback. Okay. This is like beating up babies. I feel like I came in and I'm beating up babies. I expected more. I expected some pushback. I expected some, I don't know, them to be more game. They're all way out of their league. Like, absolutely, positively out of their league. I'm actually a little shocked.
I think we're all shocked.
Now I want to put some perspective on that, right? And first of all, you see the intensity in his eyes, right?
Oh my God,
that's a competitive guy. I'm just being honest, right? That's a guy.
That's the effort. You effed around and you just found out,
right? Well, yeah, that's literally like, you know what I saw in his eyes? Try me. Why hasn't anybody tried me? I'm actually thought I was gonna have. I thought it could get a little bloody. Maybe I'm crazy. I got a little excited. Thought my blood might get shed a little bit. I'd cut you. You cut me. I thought it would be a savage thing out here, but I can't even be a real champion, because what kind of champion raises his arms for beating up babies, right? So you've taken that away from me a little bit. I'm kind of disgusted by it. But and I think I'll go a little deeper in it and say, the risk that Dana's willing to take, these guys aren't willing to take.
Yep.
I'll paint the picture for you clearly. That's why Virgil's not fighting Jerron Boots with Oscar De La Hoya is okay. He's not comfortable enough to take the risk. Dana is going to take the risk. He's going to put the baddest person he has again on his roster against another bad motherfucker and risk that guy losing and figure it out then, right? Man, thought you was going to be my Conor McGregor.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, man. Good fight, man. They're not willing to do that. They're not willing to put, I was going to say name. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to steer it there, but they're not going to put their favorite fighter in that position. They're going to protect him by all means necessary. They're going to pull fighters up from weight classes. They're going to move him around. They're going to put him in little weird catch weight fights. They're going to do whatever they can, and they're not going to give the fans what they ultimately want, because what the fans want is the risk. They want you to put that guy out there. Let's see it. And Dana's like, they're not willing to do that, bro. So it can't even be a competition, because that's exactly what I'm going to do immediately. As soon as I can, I'm going to get you beat. But if you're who you say you are, we won't have to worry about it, right? Awesome. I love it. Let's get at it.
Because, you know, you are coming in here making a lot of noise. And, you know, like you said, the president from the WBC could not keep his mouth shut at this moment. A lot of boxing politics say that, you know, a league like, you know, what you're bringing up right now is kind of preventing the biggest fights from happening. Do you believe that your structure eliminates that problem?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, you guys are supposed to be the experts on what's going on. And you know, like I said, I'll lay out a body of work this year, and then you can judge me by how this thing plays out. But, you know, everybody knows that this thing's been broken for a long time. I said what I was going to do. You know, I didn't say anything. I've never said anything bad about the WBC or the IBF or any of them. I just said I'm not going to do business with them. You know, I'm going to do my own thing. And then I saw, you know, Eddie Hearn saying that the belt is cringy and all this stuff. I don't, you know, I don't think anybody looks at Eddie Hearn and says, oh, this guy's a visionary, or, you know, the guy's been in boxing forever. I look at him like most politicians. You've done nothing in the sport except stay in the lane and, you know, play by all the rules and, you know, ride right along with but you ended up becoming part of the problem is what happened. And I don't want to sit here and smash Eddie Hearn or anything else, but Eddie Hearn works for his dad. You know what I mean? He works for dad. And, you know, I don't think he's come in and ever had any type of vision.
How often do you think about your poop? Now, some people think about their poop a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus
Did you know that?
I'm not upgrading. I don't care what you tell me. Listen, man, the vision, and we spoke about this, and Dana speaks about it. Dana speaks about it. We speak about it, and that's what it's all about, man. Shout out to rolling with the punch, rolling with the punches. Shout out to you, family. I hope you subscribe to the channel, man.
Right. No, Clay, what's fun about this is he starts off by saying, look, I don't want to like shit or crap on Eddie, but then, you know, and then he just goes into it, man. He works for his dad. Bro, look, I don't know about you, Clay.
Well, I mean, I'm actually okay with that, right? But I think what I like,
but the way he said it is not like he works for his dad, like, hey, he earned this, because the whole sentence was, you know, like,
well, he's cookie cutter is what he's saying. He's creating, he's following a path that's made for him. He's not willing to get off the beaten path and try anything and take a risk in doing something. He's not really trying to shake up the space. He's trying to follow a blueprint that's been laid out for him. And he doesn't have to, right? He's not hungry like somebody who's getting it from the ground up, because he's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? He kind of already understands he's already been preconditioned on how this works, and he's following suit, and he's staying, like he said, inside the lines. He's not going to color outside the lines. He's staying in his lanes, and he's operating in front of the rules that were put in front of him, right? The understood rules in a lawless land, right? In a game with that's revered for being lawless. He's a law-abiding citizen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And let me also put some context into the people who are Maybe you're jumping on right now. Maybe you didn't get a chance to catch the interview with Clay Moraine and Dmitry Pavlov earlier this morning, and where the actual manager explains contracts, how it works with Zuffa. So if you guys are not caught up, or you haven't been paying attention to ATP Combat Media, who gives you all the news, especially because we've just been so excited and positive about Zuffa, that what we're talking about here, and what Dana's really talking about when he said Eddie is saying the belt is cringy. Let me explain something to you guys so you understand, because I get the feeling that maybe some of you are not UFC fans. Maybe a majority of you don't understand how the UFC works. But the fact that the UFC is a league is why they were able to get $7.7 billion in money, right? From a television rights deal. That's what the NFL does. That's what the NBA does. That's what the NHL does. That's what Major League Baseball does. That, if you are a boxing fan, because I'm assuming that's what you all are boxing fans. You want to see more boxing. That's what Dana White's vision is. So the Zuffa belt isn't a quote-unquote promotional belt, more than it is that what's being created is a league. And in a league, you have to have players. Just like the NBA's got 400 players, just like the NBA, I think, or the NFL's got like 2,500 players. I think Dana said they started with only trying to get to 200 this year, but it might even be more than that now, Clay. I don't know, right? So, no, it's not a promotional belt. And for anyone who's trying to understand, no, the Zuffa boxing belt is going to become more real faster than you guys think. And the Zuffa boxing belt, it helps you get ranked as Dmitry Pavlov. Again, I don't want to take it away because I want you guys to listen to Dmitry Pavlov's words. Zuffa boxing belt gets you ranked in the top 10 of Ring Magazine. If Ring Magazine is the belt that matters for the last 100 years, then don't you want to be ranked in the Ring Magazine? And if what always happens in the other way of doing things in the other sanctioning bodies is, oh, well, you got to be an A side and, you're not worth, and fights aren't being made. And then there's this one sanctioning body called Zuffa who's just making fights all the time, Clay. Best versus best. Hey, you're ranked number 3. This dude's ranked number 5. I'm putting that fight together, right? Eventually, all people are going to understand is, oh, that makes sense to me. No wonder he's the Zuffa boxing champion. And now he gets to go to the Super Bowl of it all, which is Riyadh. And Dmitry spoke on that. So again, Clay, no, I hate getting long-winded, but sometimes, man, these guys who are not understanding the context, I just gotta lay it out. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of add on to it before I hit play. Yeah, man, we'll see, right? I mean, people are betting on this to fail. I'm optimistic it won't, but maybe it will fail. We'll see, right? But right now, it is a legitimate route towards being the biggest prize, which is a lineal champion, right? These fighters, like Dmitry Pavlov said earlier today, will be the best in Zuffa, and eventually will be in a space to test the best everywhere else. You know what I mean? They'll be on Riyadh fighting the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO champions. They'll fight the traditional best fighters, and they'll get an opportunity to compete there. And the worst thing in the world that could happen is a Zuffa welterweight champion beating a traditional welterweight champion. And if Zuffa fighters start collecting these belts, Zuffa.
Well, it's starting March 8th.
These other fighters are gonna have to find a way to get into fights with Zuffa fighters, which will be interesting to watch how that plays out. It's chess, not checkers, right? This is just what the game is. So we'll see. But let's see
whereas we do, and we're gonna change the entire sport. And I understand the people who are the status quo in boxing don't like it. But it doesn't mean they can't still do their thing. If your thing is as good as you think it is, and you are as good as you think you are, then do your thing. Good luck to you. I'm going to do my thing, and they're going to do theirs.
Absolutely. I feel like your message going forward has always been the same. Do you, and I do me. And a lot of people saying that centralized boxing under one structure gives way too much control to one entity. How do you respond to that concern?
I'm not concerned about it at all.
Okay, the last thing, you don't have
the
to
sport has been out there for over 100 years. And there's plenty of guys that are involved in the sport. There's plenty of money in the sport. Eddie Hearn and his dad have a lot of money. You know, it's not like they can't compete. They can't compete because they don't know how to compete. There's no vision there. You know, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. And listen, I'm sitting here, my third fight in. I'm either right or I'm wrong. We'll find out. I keep saying it over and over again. At the end of the year, judge us by what we've done this year. We're 3 fights in, and people are asking all these questions. And this Suleiman guy is incredible. He's incredible. He is absolutely, he's the greatest PR guy for how fucked up boxing is of all time. He's incredible.
Hey, Dana, over here.
Yep.
Oh, right. First and foremost, congratulations. It looked like a great night tonight compared to the first two. It seemed like they were growing.
I'm gonna let this do it. I know who this is.
2 fun questions. First one, just wanted to get your thoughts with Terrence Crawford and Buckley. I know these questions about boxing and MMA guys.
Terrence Crawford and who?
Buckley. I don't know if you saw. They kind of
UFC Buckley.
Yes.
Boxing.
Well, he kind of mentioned that Shakur Stevenson's fight wasn't like as entertaining because he didn't go for like the knockout. He wants to challenge Terrence Crawford for boxing. They started tweeting a little bit. You know, I guess Buckley told, you know, if it was a real fight, he would kill him. You know, just, you know, the whole MMA boxing stuff.
Are we still talking about this shit?
I just had to ask because it's been all over the place, you know, just the concept of.
Well, I didn't know anything about it, and I'm not thrilled that you told me about it. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Crawford and Buckley boxing, or Crawford, who just made fucking $55 million, is going to go street fight Buckley?
Well, I don't think he was implying that he would. Just kind of, I guess.
What's that?
He wasn't implying that he would do it, but it sounded like Buckley was challenging him, saying that he was MMA was the more superior of the two. So you're in the boxing world, so I got it.
You win the dumbest question of the night award. Congratulations, sir.
Well, all right, one last question.
Let's see if you can redeem yourself. What do you got next?
I got a good one. What do you think about Mayweather suing Showtime and
I don't know anything about it. I've seen it. You know, I'm not a big fan of the weasel myself, so you know, we'll see how that plays out.
Dana, clap back for Oscar.
Oh, I can't. No, I have no clap back. What more could you say or do to Oscar De La Hoya right now? I mean, this guy is beautiful. The fucking the ship is sinking like this, and he's talking shit all the way down. So you're telling me there was no clap back Thursday, this last Thursday? That's weird. It's been so consistent. Where is he? I hope we see one this Thursday. I can't wait to watch it. You done with me? Good night, everybody.
Oh man.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know what, Clay? Even the person who I'm sure you won't out him, but who won the award for dumbest question of the night. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen,
he's a good dude, man.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Again. Yeah, no, he is. He is. I want to remind everybody again who maybe has never been to a UFC press conference before, right? Or understand how this works. Dana White wants to answer the questions that are relevant to the event that is happening. If you ask a question that is not relevant to said event, no matter how big you think it may be, which you and I discussed it last week, Clay, the Buckley Crawford thing, but it isn't like
never made it to the show though.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not mainstream media big. No one cares, right? It was one of the, it's exactly what you told me. Yeah, whatever. like right? Like who cares? So to ask that at that stage, and again, like you said, your guy's a good guy. He's a good journalist, but please refrain from asking any questions to Dana White, like maybe a certain someone tried to do in the Canelo Crawford event. That will not be answered.
The antics doesn't get no play. It's not about antics. There's no need for antics or the clap back Thursdays or all the little gimmicky things because we're too focused on delivering
the boxing
experience. That's right. What the judgment is going to be off of, not about how entertained I can keep you outside the ring. I'm too busy focused on entertaining you inside the ring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a full-time job within itself. So I don't got the, I'll let those guys do that and entertain you in death.
Right.
But not ever manifest into any real product inside the ring.
Right.
Just to kind of bring it full circle and land the plane so we can move the conversation on to other things going on in boxing, of course. But very interesting to watch this move forward. I know a lot of people, I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to everybody who, in everybody's opinions, whether you're for it, against it. I think shout out to America, a country I love living in. You know what I mean? You're free to speak your mind and feel the way you want to feel. So that's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not even here to say eat your words later. I'm not really into all that. That's not my thing. I don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? That's not my thing. I really don't care.
I know, Clay. I know.
If I got it, if that's what you think I gotta do, whatever.
Yeah. And look, Clay, you know that the people who truly know us, and as I've always told you, for the people who listen to us, if we don't really know you, then we can't judge you because we're just seeing whatever it is that you're putting out. If we've never talked to you before, we don't know who you are. But to be fair to you, Clay, you go on a lot of more channels than I do.
Mm-hmm.
When I've gone, you know how they kill me, they smash me, and in some channels, I was even called I was even called your minion, bro. Right. I'm your minion, like really me, right? Like man, everybody got to Google, right? So but man, Clay, I mean, you're basically being called the Black Dana White in some of these.
Yeah, which is not an insult at all. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's critical thinking. It's a point of view. You don't got to agree with it, but we'll see how it plays out. That's the most important thing. Great opportunities for these fighters. I'm noticing a lot of fighters seeing the opportunity into. I think Robert Garcia's a lion's share of Robert Garcia's roster right now is trying to get outside of
Freddie Roach is
right.
Yep. Freddie Roach
is in the same club, right? Outside of Robert Garcia's main superstars, Raymond Morataya, Bam Rodriguez, Virgil Ortiz, his main guys. Generally speaking, we've seen Robert Garcia on every single card up to this point, multiple times.
Freddie Roach also. Freddie Roach, Marvin Simodio, the wild card boy. Shout out to you guys, wild card. But yeah, man. I mean, it's feeling like back in your UFC days of American Top Team, and you know what I mean, right? AKA,
right. It is. It really is. So we'll see how it plays out. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the other side of this conversation, as far as this week, we know we can get right into some mainstream traditional boxing talk. Then in the mainstream, I don't think this week will be a week where we'll see a clapback Thursday from Oscar De La Hoya because he's tied up a little bit this week. He'll be in court Friday morning, right? Right.
Eddie Hearn will be there too, I believe.
Eddie Hearn will be there. Obviously, their representation. Maybe they won't physically be there. Maybe their representation will be there. I don't know, but they'll be there in spirit, if not in body. And they'll be in there fighting for Virgil Ortiz's contract and for the ability for Virgil Ortiz to go ahead and make the biggest fight that the space wants to see. I think most people in the room would agree that they want to see Virgil Ortiz fight Jaron Boots Ennis. And Virgil is fighting the good fight. And shout out and salute to Virgil Ortiz because we were holding him accountable about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks or a month ago, holding him accountable.
We were. Yep. And by the way, as our right, okay, if you're gonna get into a content creating space and we're taking we take shots and we're nowhere near as famous as Virgil Ortiz, right? I mean, who are we? And people are giving us shots. So we weren't really making, like shooting at Virgil Ortiz. What we were doing was holding him accountable. And he answered by saying, you know what? I'm suing my damn promoter who's holding me back from wanting this fight, right? Hey, man, how much more do you guys want to know about Virgil Ortiz being the tough, bring me all the smoke kind of fighter that he is willing to sue his promoter so that he can fight Jaron Ennis, right?
Not the first, which I think is hilarious because they obviously paint the picture that Dana White is like this super scumbag in comparison to who is what I
exactly. In comparison to the $340 million lawsuit that Floyd Mayweather's doing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like in comparison to who and what is the barometer? What is the standard? What is the measuring, stick are you using to call him that? Because I'm not here to defend Dana. I don't care what Dana got going on. He's 100 million times richer than me and could care less about my opinion. Like I always say, I'm always bringing it full circle back to the opportunity for the fighters, one way or the other. But in comparison to who, is he the worst person in the world? As we're watching lawsuits fly all over the place, for whether it's Steven Espinosa and Showtime, connecting to Al Heyman in their own way, or whether it's Oscar De La Hoya and Virgil Ortiz and Ryan Garcia trying to get away from him, whether it's Eddie Hearn who's losing Jai Opataya and was almost getting ready to lose Bam Rodriguez off of their contracts. However you want to attack it, however you want to take a look at it, in comparison to who, listen, all these guys are in it for the money. There's going to be, and I promise you, in the coming weeks, there will be things in the coming months, whatever it is, years. Zuffa boxing will be in the crosshairs of some good scrutiny, of some scrutiny that they deserve. I'm sure.
I think that. I mean, look. At the end of the day, though, right? If you're on the chat, if you're even us right here behind the cameras on ATP Combat Media, our job as fans is to hold what we're watching accountable. And just like the show, if you don't like what we're saying, you can turn it off. And that's what happened to boxing during the PBC era. During the PBC era, not a lot of people were watching it. Now we're maybe finding out what happened. I mean, I don't know if I should bring up the Jermell Charlo conversation.
We got like 50 people in the building. Take a moment, hit the like button, guys. Don't do that. Hit the like button, and of course, subscribe to the channel. It's controversial at times, the conversation here, but for the most part, it's good boxing talk. I think you'll enjoy it. Give the channel a chance and subscribe to the channel. But go ahead, Angel.
And definitely listen to the replay from the interview this morning with Claymore Rain and Dmitry Pavlov, who is a manager currently managing Julian Rodriguez and set up the contracts for Julian with Zuffa Boxing, so you could actually have a clearer understanding of how Zuffa Boxing business works from the actual manager who's doing all the paperwork and signing and money and the whole bit. But yeah, no, you and I spent a lot of time talking about Jermell Charlo, right? And, the fact that, and you're going to have to break it down for me at one point, Clay, the Jermell Charlo Najee interview, but I didn't know he was really trying to make fights happen after the
according to him, right? And I'm sure a lot of fans are going to cap, right? That's a favorite word that circulates through this space. He's lying. He wasn't trying to make no fights, because if he wanted to make fights, he would have made fights, because the fighters have all this power to put their own fights together. So, but in all reality, when you put it all together, he's another victim of potentially being aged out of his prime.
Yep. There you go.
The fighter he was 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years ago. We'll see if he's still that fighter today, if he ever does get a fight put together. And I wonder if people will hold the game accountable for what they did to Charlo if he turns out to not be the fighter, or if they're going to say he was a hype job and he never was that guy.
Yeah, right? That would be rough, man. That'd be rough.
Keith Thurman, Keith has just been one of the most inactive fighters I've seen in the longest time. Just in the past, 5 years, he's fought like 3 times. I don't know what it's been, but
and can I just say this too? Because Manny Pacquiao did end up somehow working with PBC and didn't come back till after 4 years. Haney wants to fight Manny, but instead Manny's fighting Providnikov. For you guys that didn't know, that was breaking news about an hour ago. Manny's fighting Providnikov April 18th. Providnikov, Clay. Providnikov. You remember Ruslan Providnikov and Timothy Bradley, right? So Providnikov's fighting. I mean, what is going on with the with just boxing in general, man? Why can't we? I think the point, and thank you for hammering that home. I think it would be unfair for us to criticize Jermell Charlo, who never lost the Lineal Ring Magazine Championship. And I believe this was your debate point with me, was we can argue that all these 154s that are ranked right now, that are holding all these belts, wouldn't be holding any of it if Jermell Charlo still had the chance.
Yeah,
to
shout
go
out
ahead
to
and do what he did.
Shout out to Gary Antoine Russell, who'll be fighting on this card upcoming this week, but another potential victim of the politics of the sport, somebody who should have been way more active. Once again, lack of activity from him. Still in his prime, though, still able to do some things, but I think without a doubt something should and maybe needs a change with the way they're delivering him, because he should be one of the biggest stars in the American boxing space, hands down. Gary Antoine Russell should be one of the biggest stars
100%.
in
100%.
boxing, in American boxing.
100%. He might knock out Hirooka. And I like Andy Hirooka a lot. I think he's great. I think he's definitely deserving of being number one. But man, Gary Antoine, that kid is different, man. That kid is different.
Super exciting, super entertaining. Not the complaints that you guys give to the Devin Haney's or the Shakur Stevensons, who I don't think necessarily deserve that scrutiny all the time. I mean, from time to time, but for the most part, their skills and what they bring to the table, I think, should be celebrated more than all these not exciting jackets that you guys put on them. But Gary Antoine Russell checks all the boxes. He's right in there. He has the family legacy. He's got Gary Russell Jr. He's got the father. He's got the brothers. He's got the performance. He's got the explosive power. He's got the knockout percentage ratio. Really, the last, his last two fights, he didn't knock somebody out, which is Raul Venezuela and Alberto Puello. But before going to the Alberto Puello fight, was at 100% knockout ratio. You know what I'm saying? Knocked out every single person he got in the ring with, and still, put on the never mind list. Right, as you know what I'm saying, as they are not putting him in a position in a division at 140 where unification should be part of his vocabulary. Should be in the conversations. He should have been in there with a Subriel Matias when Subriel had an IBF title. He should have been there going against Teofimo Lopez, right, or Richardson Hitchens. These should have been the conversations. These fights should be getting made. But the across the street politics, the cherry picking, matchmaking mentality, the protecting the fighters, all those things that have not worked out in his benefit, in my opinion, right? But he's going to be in a great fight this coming weekend. He's going to be in a great fight with Andy Hirooka, which I believe may be fight of the night, and I believe may have a knockout of the year candidate ending to it, just because of how both these fighters are cut, right? Andy Hirooka rumbles and is a great boxer as well. People, they don't know who he is yet, but he's a boxer puncher, right? He brings that element to he brings intangibles that make it a very dangerous fight for Gary Antoine Russell.
No, Hirooka's a real number one, right? He's a real number one on a bad night, right? And we saw Gary Antoine Russell lose to Puello.
Alberto
Puello. And I'm not, on a bad night, anything can happen. But Hirooka, if as long as he makes it here, he's the real deal, Clay. So let's not take away from Gary Antoine if we see a performance of the night type of a fight. Just because you guys didn't know who Andy Hirooka is doesn't mean Andy, he's the real deal, man. He's the real deal.
I talk to people over there. That's why I always support the Russells like that, because I happen to have like a 1 degree of separation connection with them. So I'm always in their business. You know what I'm saying? I'm always knowing what's going on.
I'm asking on behalf of me, by the way, not to get Claymore in trouble, but the Russell family, please consider signing to Zuffa Boxing. You'll be so much happier, Gary. You'll be so much happier. So.
Right. Shout out to Chevy Red. What's good, Queen? You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I know that this fight's gonna be a great fight. I'm definitely picking Gary Antoine to win this fight. You know, the fight that's gonna be the
barn burner,
the potential upset. I'll say that.
Oh, I already know because I'm thinking about betting it. I got to ask a few people though, in my circle. But Duarte over Hitchens, is that what you were gonna say?
Bro, I know. I'm trying to tell people, man. Listen,
I'm just saying.
Hitchens is a great boxer, man. Respectfully, in the most respectful way I can say it. I respect that man's boxing acumen, bro.
I was describing Richardson Hitchens. If you're listening to our show or you catch the replay, I was describing you as Bazooka Corte. I was saying to everybody, this is Ike Bazooka Corte right in front of me right now. So nothing but respect, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect.
But Oscar Duarte may be this might be his time to do something special in this fight, man. This guy
only the one loss, Clay. Oscar Duarte's only got the one loss.
One loss, and honestly, listen, bro. I'm saying everything is lined up right for him. The last fight he had against Kenneth Sims may have been the most perfect fight to get
him ready.
Right.
Yep.
He's strong. He's punching. You know, Hitchens is on a rehydration clause that he's already expressed content for.
Right.
I'm saying he has that under control now that he's hired a nutritionist. But at the end of the day, time goes by. You just get older, and it gets harder to make the weight. Everything has to be perfect for Hitchens. Obviously, Hitchens is somebody I expect to work behind that jab. I expect for him to do his best to not get hit. He's a hit, not get hit guy. Very hard to hit Hitchens. Arguably, probably one of the hardest people to put hands on.
Absolutely.
140-pound division.
Yeah, that jab is nasty. That jab is nasty.
And good footwork. Good footwork. Very good positioning. Controls the range very well. You saw what he was able to do with Liam Paro. Control that distance the whole fight. And obviously, we saw him put away Kambosos and how he was able to deal with a smaller fighter coming up in weight, but still trying to apply pressure, and he was able to stop him the body, which is always impressive whenever you see somebody able to get stopped that way. But Oscar Duarte is
bro. Woo! I'm just saying, you know what it is that's hard to erase out of our minds, and again, we don't know what was going on during that time, but the Lemos fight with Hitchens, hard to erase it out of our minds, right? And when you think about Duarte and how scary Duarte is against every fighter that he's fought, I don't know, man.
Listen, Hitchens going into that fight, Hitchens didn't have a nutritionist. He had a bad weight cut. You seen it on him. He did a bad job, and he had to admit that, like, damn, I didn't do good.
Right,
I didn't do good in this weight cut. It was a horrible 3 days for me. Super dehydrated, was basically starving myself. Couldn't believe, like he said, all of a sudden the way he was able to cut the weight before, he just wasn't able to. And I've seen fighters struggle with that, where it's like 3 days before the fight, and you're like, oh, I can't get this shit off. I don't know what to do outside of like legitimately malnutrition myself. And that can become very you've been
I know for a fact. I was there when someone died cutting weight in the Philippines, right? Like, that's a real thing. You could deplete the potassium and all the liquids either through your kidneys or your heart, that you could go to cardiac arrest. I mean, hey man, you don't want no unhealthy. I mean, we're interviewing Rob Merriweather, who was telling us about the macros and and like
he could never eat carbs. He was like, I never ate a carb before a fight before.
Yeah, or like Jalil's like, I've never eaten so good before a weigh-in.
Right. Actually, it was Jalil who said the carbs. He never had a carb before the week of the fight. But also, we remember the Khabib weight cuts where he couldn't make fights because of those extreme weight cuts. We remember what's what's the homie from Brazil, the female?
Cyborg. Chris Cyborg.
Chris Cyborg looking pictures circulating, looking just crazy in a tub, looking like she's fighting tomorrow.
Right.
No. Right.
Or even Kayla Harrison when she came to the UFC. Having to come cut down, and she was crying, bro.
We just watched a fighter face plant coming off the stage the other day. You know what I'm saying? There's arguments out there that Carlos Adames may have had making weight in his last fight where he got the flu.
And
make that fight happen with Ammo Williams, right?
Right. So, or Floyd Schofield getting sick in Riyadh, maybe. Floyd Schofield getting sick in Riyadh.
Schofield needing IV because he had stomach poison, food poisoning. Man, it's not a game, man. That fight is the first fight before you even get in the ring, especially in the boxing culture where, that's what these fighters want to do. They want to cut as much weight as they can, rehydrate up as much as they can so they can be the bigger fighter. That's the goal, the intention of being in the ring. But if you don't do it right, shout out to Devin Haney, who can tell you about good days and bad days.
Yeah,
because he had good days against Regis Prograis, but he had bad days.
Bad days.
Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's fact. That's facts. Yeah, and he looked and he looked best. I mean, really, the Brian Norman fight we're starting to see how his body frame and his weight being where it's supposed to be now, right? And we're hearing maybe not Xander Zayas. So the fact that Haney's even considering going up 154, right? I mean, how big is this guy? Maybe he's as big as Shakur's talking about. He's huge, right? Pause.
Yeah. No, 100%. All these intangibles that we don't think about before these fighters go in the ring and definitely influence their performance. So this is going to be one of those fights. IBF title on the line, rehydration clause right there. Oscar Duarte underneath the same requirements. You know, he's not a small fighter in my opinion. I think he's one of the bigger ones for it. So hopefully he cuts the weight the right way. But I think he is. I think he's coming in with the experienced team with Robert Garcia and those guys, and I think they have a facility. They have their own PI, performance institution of their own, as Robert Garcia has invested into his
gym,
into his gym the same way. He has hyperbolic chambers and cold plunge. He has a whole, you know, that's why I think he relates and resonates so much with what, you know what I'm saying, Zuffa's trying to do. He's like, oh, this is right aligned with how I feel about it.
Yes.
So that's what Oscar Duarte is going from. Hitchens is you know, like I said, he's got a nutritionist. This fight is going to be dangerous. And I think this might be, if you're looking for an upset on this card, that is a fight that I would say take a look at.
Right.
I think so. Take a look at it. I'm not saying bet against
okay, look, what we're going to say is, and you know me, I always say this, you know, picking your Dalton Smiths and everything else, when you're looking at the betting line and you see plus money, anytime it says to say plus 300 or higher, you got to consider it. Also for you guys, a little tip, with Zuffa Boxing, both Zuffa Boxing 1, 2, and 3, did you notice, Claymore, that 1, 2, and 3 had all underdog, you know, at least one major underdog on each one. The first one was Julian Rodriguez. Remember, I said bet that.
Which was crazy.
It was crazy.
That was crazy.
The second one, Zuffa 2, was Kalajic, bro. Remember? You and I were saying, hey man, Kalajic might win this. You guys aren't even seeing, you know, you might want to bet that money because Kalajic, that was like plus 500 when we were looking at it. And then this last Sunday, bro, Benito was a 10-1 underdog when he knocked out the undefeated Ruiz, bro. Oh my God.
They got caught up in the youth and once again, until they do it, they don't do it right.
Exactly.
Caught up in the flashiness, and he was a good. I mean, I think he has a good future in front of him. I saw what people saw.
Right.
I see what y'all see in him. I see
it.
That inexperience played out horribly for him.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is if the odds, and I don't know what the current odds are, but Clay, if Duarte shows up as plus 300 or more, bro, it's kind of hard not to put a little something on Duarte,
man. If you're super confident in what Hitchens brings to it, I get it. I'm super confident in him. I can't. He is the favorite to me. He should win this fight. You know what I'm saying, from what I've seen. But I think Oscar Duarte, and like you said, you brought up the Gustavo Lemos fight. I think Oscar Duarte is a legit upset. You know what I'm saying, candidate. He can do the work. And also obviously going into the main event with Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. That, you know, if Mario Barrios winning this fight is considered an upset, then this might be another big one that you guys have to take a look at, because I'm seeing Ryan Garcia, by the way, and I'm seeing that he's looking prepared. He's looking like he's in great shape.
He was already weighing 149, dude, or something crazy like that. I mean, I was like, damn.
He's on point. He's taking this very seriously. My question is it too little, too late? That's
I don't know.
Question.
You know that, and I get a lot of flack for my belief in Ryan Garcia's talents as a boxer. Right? We're not talking about anything else. We're just talking straight boxing. And you guys know, I like Ryan. I like Ryan and what he can do. And he's only 27 right now. I'd like to see the potential. I guess I want to see the best of people, right? And I feel like Ryan with his dad this time around may show us the best of him, right? But your question is fair. Is it too little, too late, right? But I throw back a question at you, sir. Is it too little, too late for Mario Barrios? Because as I've studied this, he kept sliding down from Maidana. Then he looked worse against Abel Ramos. Then how are you going to let over 4-year layoff, Manny Pacquiao basically toss you around the way Manny did, right? That's a pattern, Clay, and you know I don't like those type of patterns. So is it too little too late for Barrios, who didn't look that good, right? The eye test shows me, and I know people hate it when I say it, but Clay, I'm human, dude. I watched Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't count. But I can't unsee it, y'all. I can't unsee all those knockdowns. I can't. So I saw that, and I imagine, can Ryan pull off even 70% of that against Barrios? But I'm trying to watch the best of Barrios, bro. And it was against Ugas, who he took the decision. That was a long time ago, man. He hasn't looked like good Barrios in a while.
What? At the end of the day, he hasn't lost. And those fights, arguably, what I like about Mario Barrios is, for example, him putting Guzman in position.
Okay.
That's intelligence.
Okay.
In itself. And I can respect that. I truly respect that. And I believe that. Is he capable of executing a game plan? Does he have the acumen? Is he the kind of fighter who can execute on a game plan? Yeah, he is.
Right.
He's fundamentally sound. He's got the reach. He's got a decent jab. He's got the grit. He got decent little power. You know what I'm saying? And he understands how to execute a plan. I think he has a good team with him right now. I believe it's Guzman. I think Virgil Hunter's over there as well, working with him as well. And he has somebody else there as well, but he has some good piece. He got a good team working around him. If Ryan Garcia indeed is a one-trick pony, if he doesn't bring more, if Ryan Garcia is not going to bring more wrinkles to his game, to this fight, he could potentially be outclassed. Because if that left hook gets taken away, he's going to have to figure something else out. And the question is, does he figure something else out? I think he can. You never know. But this fight is definitely lined up to be. It could be an upset there. It could be an upset there. Mario Barrios could definitely do it. He could definitely put a game plan.
Now, let me ask you: do you think it will be an upset by when it's all said and done? When the line happens, I'm feeling like enough people would have bet on Barrios because of statements like what Connor Ben said. I promise you guys, Mario Barrios is going to knock out Ryan Garcia. Right? Statements like that might make the swing so high for Barrios that by the time we get to fight time and weigh-ins, bro, it might be even money. So is there even an upset if it's even money?
If it's even money on paper, it's not an upset, but I think the space is pretty much in expecting Ryan to do the work. I mean, I think if Ryan takes this to a decision, they're going to be disappointed. They're thinking this guy should knock out Mario Barrios. That's what I'm hearing, at least across the space. I've seen a couple of different polls get done, and a lot of people just on Ryan. But you got a lot of people also, you know what I mean, who are looking at Mario. A lot of people are wanting Mario to win, obviously, because we already know that Ryan Garcia has rubbed a lot of fans in a negative way in this space. But a lot of people are pushing for Ryan to win just off the strength of they want to see that fight with Devin and Ryan, which it doesn't even look like that fight's happening necessarily, guaranteed to happen after this fight, because we know that the biggest story spinning in the space right now is Shakur Stevenson potentially fighting Ryan Garcia in the back end of a victory, and those other fights, Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis and all that stuff. I know Devin Haney, Bill Haney did an interview this week or yesterday. I think he popped out on Hall of Game or something like that. I haven't got a chance to watch the interview. I don't know.
You haven't watched that yet? Okay. Yeah, I need to catch up too, because you were telling me about the Charlo interview with Najee. Shout out to Najee. Congratulations on working with Al Bernstein. That's my guy right there. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, shout out to Dodge MMA. Hey man, thanks for joining the chat. I hope you subscribe. I promise you, me and Claymore are definitely going to be talking more UFC at some point. We're talking a lot about the Zuffa and what's going on with that right now. But just you're right, dude. Jacoby Smith, I'm familiar with the young man. He's 11-0. I'm gonna remember you said that, Dodge MMA. I'm gonna remember you said that.
Ryan Anthony says Bill Haney, because I seen you put this message up about 4 times, Ryan. Sorry,
Okay.
I wasn't ignoring you. It's just we were in a conversation, but obviously I think you want us to speak to this. Being that, so I think it's your 3rd or 4th time putting it on here, word for word.
Right.
It says Bill Haney was. I'm gonna assume that's was.
Yeah, was
at
laughing.
Shakur and
Right.
Ryan and Charlo. Look, man, Bill Haney is gonna do what Bill Haney does. You know what I'm saying? But when
Right.
it comes to the conversation of Devin Haney, and when we're talking about that topic, we're talking about a fighter who's super talented, generational talent, probably already a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean, maybe even a first round, if not Hall of Famer, already with what he's done.
Right.
But we're also looking at a fighter who's
28.
He's 28, but it seems like he's in a place to where his options aren't as vast as people would like to think.
Yeah, and man, that's a whole title on its own
Right.
that we'll probably have to speak about maybe Thursday or sometime this weekend, or
Yeah.
or maybe we end this program right now, Clay, and start up a new one real quick. But fact of the matter is, you're absolutely right, Clay. We're in a the what is it that we always say? Yesterday's price isn't today's price, and the minute Shakur Stevenson did what he did January 31st against Teofimo Lopez, the price changed, bro. A lot.
Yeah.
The price changed a lot. And
that's literally figuratively and that's figuratively and metaphorically, right? Like yes, the money, but also just the opportunity and the options and the fighters who would look like on paper would make sense as the biggest fights that Devin could put together, having options.
Right.
And looking at Devin as hold on. And what does Devin do while those fighters are telling him to hold on? And like I get the whole Debo Dev thing, and I get the whole entire narrative being pushed around that people are scared to fight him. And maybe there's some truth to those narratives, but it doesn't change the difficulty that Devin Haney's facing as far as the activity, that I'm sure he'd rather be active rather than inactive. What does he do? What is his next best move? What makes sense? For Devin right now, dealing with the landscape at the way it is presently. Things can change tomorrow, but from what it is presently, and I'll paint it for you guys real quick, is Lewis Crocker is looking like he's negotiating something with Liam Paro. Richardson Hitchens is doing what he does right now in his next fight. Keyshawn Davis, very game, coming off of a great performance against stopping a Jermaine Ortiz, is definitely a legitimate option. Xander Zayas, who you're calling out, looks like he may be
working with Kelly
and working with Josh Kelly to unify, and not for nothing, kind of building that enemy up with Eddie Hearns to a certain degree. I'm sure that you guys are cordial, but without a doubt, Eddie Hearns is not on your side of the negotiations when it comes to a Josh Kelly. Who knows what he'll do, because he already brought it up, right? He wants a multiple fight deal with Devin to cooperate and give him his fighter, right? So if you guys are willing to do that, what's stopping Eddie from entertaining either lining Josh Kelly up with Jerron Boots Ennis, or obviously for the unification with Xander Zayas, which takes Xander Zayas off the table if that's the case. It's just so many different things playing out.
I mean,
the fight.
Yeah, no, and Clay, again, I want to keep us under the time, but this is such a hot subject, just in the sense that Eddie Hearn,
doubting, Queen, not doubting the technique.
No doubting. And that's all we were saying. In fact, we did an entire show, Queen, on how Haney was the money, right? It's just that it changed. It's all we were trying to say. We're not, no doubts, right? We want Bill and Devin to succeed in the space that they're in. We want to see Devin get into fights. And again, just to round it out, Clay, because of the title of the show, Bill Haney did say he wants the Zuffa boxing belt for Devin too. Maybe that's what we need to see. Maybe we need to see, hey, Debo, there's food for you in Zuffa too if you want to come and get that belt also. So, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to call for Xander or Shakur or whoever it is. I don't even know who's being called right now. But hey, man, Bill said he wants a Zuffa too. So
you never know. You never know in this game. And I agree with the Queen 100% that, hey, man, you'll be shocked, and I won't be shocked, right? But people may be shocked at how quickly things can change. And you know, like right now we're hearing the fight that seems to be on people's minds is this King of Ring situation, and that Keyshawn Davis is a legitimate option for Devin. The question is that what Devin wants right now? And does that really make a difference? Does it matter what Devin wants right now in comparison to what's available for him and what money he can make off the fight?
Right. Hey, I like that when you were telling me about King of the Ring, bro. I was in. I was like, that's amazing. I hope Turkey does King of the Ring. Please do that. Oh my God. Shout out to Showbiz.
Who heard through the grapevine that was on the table. It is what it is. Let's go into the Jermell Charlo conversation a little bit.
All right. You know what I'm saying? All right. Just a bit.
Yeah, we're not go too crazy on it. But Jermell Charlo does an interview with Najee, and clearly, you know, looking for a big fight. He's looking for a big fight, clearly. And he's reaching out to Eddie Hearn, which I think is significant because he was one of PBC's prize fighters, right? Like that's one of PBC's go-to, and this guy's out here, you know, being very respectful to Eddie Hearn, asking him to, you know, hit my DM, let me know. And he said, Eddie said, don't price yourself out. He said he needs a chance. He's like, you give me a price on what you think I'm worth. But treat me right, because I bring this, I bring that, you know, I bring the crowd. He was doing a good job of selling himself. I mean, you know what? Najee's my guy. I know he ain't gonna copyright me. You know what I'm saying? I know he ain't gonna do it. So I'm gonna.
Are we doing this right now? We're gonna go over, man.
I don't matter if it goes over. It's all good.
All right. Are you gonna edit? Because we got a lot of editing, man. We got lots of.
I know. Yeah, I do gotta edit. Period.
Yeah.
You know one way or the other, I got to. But let's see here. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me see. I'm away from boxing. Let's do it, man. Let's have a good time. Man.
All right.
Let's enjoy ourselves.
Okay.
Or was it like, you know, you got the super bag at the Canelo, so he was like, I want to chill? What was the reason for you just kind of taking that step back?
Well, the step back I had to get my personal, you know, life together, dig deeper into who I am as a man, and then focus on, you know, things that are outside of boxing, you know. And once I start to get in that field of finally I'm outside of boxing, man, it took like 3-4 months, man.
Yeah.
I back calling them Sylvia, get my date. I need to fight again.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm one of the first and the fastest to come back and just ready to fight. You know, and then I had made a decision to myself that like I would work harder than I did when I was at, you know, before the 68 division, the Canelo fight. So then I said, I'm gonna come back to 54. Why? It's nothing at those other weight divisions. It's not a lot of entertainment. I want to fight. Then I said, they can't beat me. I never lost my titles.
That's right.
They didn't beat me for my titles.
You're right.
You know, sometimes I think, what's wrong with why me? Why pick on me? You know, I knocked out everybody to become a champion.
Yeah.
The moment I stepped in the ring, I lost one of my belts. I still paid my sanction fees. Didn't complain. I didn't act like, oh, I don't want to, it's cool, it's whatever, you know. Sit back, I love life, you know. Fuck that fight, we on to the next. What's happening next? You know, I got in a standstill in life whenever I realized that, like, damn, you know, maybe we just hit a different pinnacle. Maybe we're at a peak. Of course, you know, after fighting Canelo, becoming undisputed, winning every belt in the division, but knocking him out to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've heard you say that before, like, you know, you feel like you haven't gotten the credit, right? Like you were undisputed. Again, like you just mentioned, you never actually lost the titles. Every title that you had, it was just, you know, being stripped. You never lost it. Do you feel like it was like the public kind of not giving you your flowers? What was that part? Like you kind of feeling like you didn't get the just due?
I think that like I feel like most of the people that didn't give me the credit for what I've done was kind of new to boxing. You know, like it's hard to kind of like operate in so many generations. I'm a fighter that came. I fought on Bernard Hopkins on the card. I fought on Edwin Valero's on the card. I was there when De La Hoya fought Steve Forbes. You know, and Steve Forbes was on Contender and getting off of that, and De La Hoya was coming back. I've been around.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my head thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm 35 years old.
Yep.
Can't nobody fuck with me. I'm the strongest. I'm the best. I'm the hardest. I'm just hard to beat.
Yeah.
Just gonna give you a problem. I'm gonna take life out of your fighter. Now I'm mad because I never been on the other side where, bro, Eddie Hearns. Hello, Eddie. Please answer my DMs if you see this message.
He gonna see it.
I want you to set up something between me and your best fighter, Boots. I even like kind of Ben so much.
Yeah.
He's a cool fighter. But business-wise,
yeah,
we gotta make it happen. I'm not a friend to none of these motherfuckers, all right?
Yeah.
And that's why y'all don't see me and Earl getting along. And I don't have no problem, but he jumped in my weight class. Look, I fought Bonus.
Yeah, he did.
I fought Bonus. We were stable mates.
Yep.
Shakur and everybody else sparred and fought each other. Why we can't fight? You say you the best. You say you 154. Fuck 47. Come up. La da da. Tazoo in Australia, bro. Keep this money in America, bro. We Donald Trump in this shit over here, bro. Keep it in America.
Yeah.
Make them pay the tariffs to watch us. Make Australia pay the tariffs to watch us. Put the biggest fights in the world on. You the best. I'm the best. Guess what? They asked him before they ever asked me, would you fight Jamel? He the one that said, if the money right, this, that, and the third, he'll fight. I'm a real lawyer. I'm never fighting my brother.
Yeah.
And I still like that, even though he a fucked up person sometimes and make bad statements about me. But Earl Spence, we not friends. No.
Yeah.
We making each other friends. Now, if you want what I'm gonna hold, you're gonna have to fight for it. Now we offer Earl Spence.
Y'all offered him.
We offered him.
Oh, off. Okay.
We
All
offered
right.
him.
Yeah. All right.
We gonna focus on
The ones that got it right
who
now.
wanna fight.
Well, I like your message to Eddie with Boots because that's Boots right now. They saying Boots is the boogeyman at 54. A lot of people saying that.
I'll fight your boogeyman.
Yeah.
Give me the boogeyman. Treat me right because you know I'm gonna bring your crowd. You want me to go to the UK? See me and Jack.
Yeah.
See me, you know you gotta get it right. It's the last time I spoke to Eddie Hearns. Don't outprice yourself, bro. I couldn't even get a chance. Let me price myself. You know who I am. You price me. You tell me what you value, and I'll tell you what I accept or not.
Right. Right. Okay. Now that's interesting.
Now, hey man, woo,
We won't get into it that deep, right? We'll
can I just throw this one out there? Hey, Debo Dev, if all these guys don't want to fight you, man, look like Charlo might need a little something. Maybe you can give him a chance.
If you can afford it, because he's letting you know, he'll let you know based on the offer, but he wants to offer. But I thought what was significant about it is, and I'll be frank, where's Al? Where's Al? Where is Al, man? Because you're the A side. You're the guy who's supposed to be offering the fights. Why are you asking Eddie Hearn to send you an offer? How did you become the B side? Jerome Boots-Ennis doesn't have a title. Do you think Jerome Boots-Ennis is the A side of Jamel Charlo? Would you have thought that?
I mean, I guess if Charlo was still around, being the undisputed lineal 154-pound champion who never lost it in the ring, I would have never thought that. But now, I mean, it is kind of weird that where is Charlo's promoter, right? I don't know. I don't know, Clay. Well, I mean, technically, isn't that the whole thing, though, that Al Heyman's his advisor? So who is Charlo's technical promoter?
With Tom Brown, I guess, right?
I guess.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's very interesting to see all these fighters move the way they did. We see David Benavidez go across the street and make a fight with Turkey in Riyadh season to defend his title and get a payday. Now we're seeing him go over to Golden Boy to make a fight happen with Zerto Ramirez. We saw Tank try to make a fight happen with Jake Paul on MVP Promotions as a B side. We're seeing Jamel right now, you know what I'm saying, campaigning for a fight. We see Errol Spence about to go out to No Limit in Australia to make a fight with Tim Tszyu. Where is Al?
Yeah, man.
Where is Al? I think it's very interesting to kind of see all this play out. That being said, though, great fight for Boots. Great fight. I think Eddie should jump on it.
I mean, yeah, no, it's a great fight for Boots, especially when you know, and we talked about this for a while, which was a fun conversation. But you're right, man. If you put that, let's call it Philly, right? Let's call it Philadelphia. Let's call it the. Do you think that Charlo coming back after never losing the lineal 154-pound undisputed, really, like he never lost it. He never lost the Ring Magazine belt, right? Comes back, fights the number 5 ranked Ring Magazine, Boots Ennis. Do you think that at the very least they would sell out the Spectrum, which is the basketball where the Sixers play? You think they do that?
Yeah.
Because Charlo still has a name, right?
100%. Charlo will do great, man. Charlo will be a great dance partner, man. He'll be a great dance partner, man.
Would it then be wrong for someone like me to say, well, if Boots beats Charlo, wouldn't that technically make Boots the Ring Magazine champion? I mean, I brought it up, definitely. There. I've definitely brought it up.
Hey, man, I think it might be a people's champion type of situation. Okay. I think, you know, for Boots, it plays out well. I think he will be the man who beat the man, whether or not there's a lineal title attached to it or not. I think it's still super impactful for him. You know what I'm saying? To be involved in a situation like that. And I think that's a great opportunity to jump into. But I think clearly they're waiting on this court situation to play out with Oscar and Eddie. You know, it seems like Virgil would be the fight that they want to put together if they could. In a perfect world, that's what they want to do. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, man, I like the fight. I think it's a great fight, man. What do you think about this Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney situation?
I would love that fight. I would love that whole, when you were telling me about the, what was it called? Kings of the Ring or whatever that idea is, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, I'll speak on for Debo Haney, right? Hey, no question. You're the best 147-pound fighter. We watched you do it. You beat the Boogeyman and Brian Norman. Everyone should be lining up at 147 to fight you, right? So, you know, again, keeping in line with the title. If this was Zuffa, that wouldn't be so hard. But apparently, outside of Zuffa, there's the whole money issue, A side, B side type talk when it comes to this. But having said that, Clay, to answer your question, are you kidding me? Promotional wise, can you imagine Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson's right there helping his brother out, Keyshawn, and Debo? You smack him around the way you smacked around Brian Norman? Do you know how big the Shakur narrative fight would now become if that happens, right? Then flip it around the other side. What if it's just an exciting ass fight? Because the one thing we know about Keyshawn Davis is he will bring the heat, bro. He's not scared. He will go after whoever is in front of him, and he'll go after Devin. So what if it just ends up being one of those, oh, my God, we got to see this again. Now, Dev, you got another easy, like, hey, roll it in, kind of like Baturvia Bevo, bro. Get your money. Get your money at 28, right? You just had a hell of a fight. You beat a 26-year-old Keyshawn Davis, who's a silver medalist. Come on, baby, make this fight happen, Clay. Make it. I'm trying to make it happen. Make it happen, Clay. I love it.
Yeah, people don't like it all the way for some reason, but I love it, man. And I think Keyshawn's going to force Devin to fight in a way that people want to see Devin fight. And that he's going to fight in a way that he can only be forced to fight that way. If he can fight safe, he always will pick that way first. And I think Keyshawn could definitely make him uncomfortable. Toledo, Trice, what's good with you, Treese? What's good? I said Trice. What's good with you, Treese?
Yow. I know that motherfucker Hector Bermudez has been rubbed off on you. It's all right. Only Hector Bermudez can get away with that bullshit. Shout out to him. But it's me. I'm people. I'm one of those guys who not fucking with this Keyshawn and Devin fight. I'm not into it. I don't like it. It's nonsense. It's foolishness. You feel me? And I get the WWE shit. If we want to play WWE and talk King of the Ring, shout out to WWE or WWF when they used to do the King of the Ring. How come we not talking WWF shit when DX motherfucking split in half and Shawn Michaels and Triple H went head and head? Why aren't we talking Shakur, you Triple H, Keyshawn Davis, you Shawn Michaels, motherfucker? I need y'all to lock horns. This is bullshit. I need this shit to fracture up. You see me?
Hold on 1 second, Toledo. Ayo, rolling with the punches. Let me see your camera. Let me see who you are.
You're not trusting me.
Nah, bro. I remember. I'm just trying to make sure it's somebody.
No, man,
here.
we're not doing that, Treese. You know, Louis, we're not that type of show, bro. We'll let you in if we know who you are, but if we don't know you, you don't get in.
Yeah.
Man,
rolling with the punches, man. We're gonna hold off on you for on this one, man, because we're trying to keep it a tight panel. We're about to be out anyway. I don't want to, you know what I mean. So
speaking of rolling with the punches, I need Charlo. I heard you talking this Charlo shit, rolling with the punches. And Devin, keep them coming in. Shout out to Rick. Keep it coming in. No, don't keep shit coming. We don't need that Keyshawn fight. That shit is nonsense. You see me? I don't know why ain't nobody pressure. Where the fuck is Rolly at? I heard you talk about all these other guys who got fights. Lewis Crocker talking about Paro, Barrios and Ryan. Rolly is free. What is he doing? Why are you on ice, gang? What are you doing? We seen you get a hell of a win over Ryan. I think Rolly and Devin is a good fight. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't understand why people aren't shining a light on that guy. Where are you, champ?
Because you know the rules, Toledo. You know when it comes to the PBC, why even try?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Rolly's not doing that fight next. It's just not happening, bro. And you know,
Right.
in the Zuffa world, it would happen because he wouldn't have the choice.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
in fact, Rolly still has to. And by the way, shout out Coach Merriweather. Nice to see you tonight, sir. Yeah, man. Rolly, I'm pretty sure, Clay, that Eddie is pushing the whole. You got to either fight Chakram next, period, point blank, right? Or I'll ask Chakram to step aside if you fight Connor. I mean, that's it. That's Rolly's choices. Or he could drop the belt. He could drop the belt and join Zuffa.
I would like to see him drop the belt and join Zuffa, actually. Get him the fuck out of here. I ain't gonna lie. A couple of these guys, I'd rather just see get on. Go do something else. Do something. And Devin Haney, I wouldn't be opposed to you going over there to Zuffa. Fuck it. Because these days, like I say, man, Devin, it disgusts me because he fucked up his money with the first Ryan fight that we said, do not do that. Do not fuck with that guy. You're going off trajectory. This is nothing that we need, brother. Manny Pacquiao was talking about coming back to boxing. He was training for the Olympics and all this type of shit. That was the fight you were supposed to take. You could have fought Adrian Broner before he got beat on by Blair Cobbs. That would have been a fight I would have liked to see. You feel me? But we here now. And now they're trying to feed young pups, young cubs like Keyshawn Davis to you. And I'm really upset with why aren't guys putting pressure. I'm going to keep saying this shit. Shakur needs pressure on his ass. Guys don't. It's like everybody acting like Keyshawn been campaigning at 140 or something, or like he didn't have all these fucking fights. Shakur and Keyshawn Davis have the same amount of fights at 140. Why is it so okay for Keyshawn Davis to come up here and fuck with Devin Haney, but not Shakur? I'm baffled by that. I'm perplexed by that. You feel me? I'm confused by that. I do not get it. I'm befuddled by that. You get me? This shit is nonsense.
Can we put him on mute? Because the mic is just terrible, Toledo. And we love you, bro. We just need to get you a better mic at some point. But,
I'm in the cooler, man. We at work, man. Shout out to my third shift workers, man. We getting
shout
it
out
in.
to the third shift workers. Shout out to the third shift workers.
Yeah, for
shout
sure.
out to the Midwest Mafia. Shout out to Albert Bell, baby. He's not going nowhere. I hope the Andy Cruz fight happens for you, man. We really want to see you.
It looks like
I really hope so. We want to see you out there, man. But my response is, isn't Keyshawn Davis bigger than Shakur? And maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he was. And secondly, it sounds like Keyshawn's willing to move up and play B-side to Dev. And isn't that what Dev wants? Dev wants people to play B-side?
No, he wants big money fights, I feel. I don't think Keyshawn is a big money fight. Go ahead.
But I'll add to what you're saying, Angelo. And Toledo, you can respond to this. I like watching the fighters who want to fight each other. I'm not into pressuring fighters who don't want to fight in fights they don't want to fight, bro. They don't end up being the kind of fights I want to see. You know what I mean? So we can be mad at this. Maybe you like Shakur's spirit to be different. You know what I mean? Like, come on, but that's not who he is, right? He's decided and he's spoken to this. He's addressed the space as to what the conditions are going to have to be in order for that fight to
Right.
happen.
Right.
And you know, Coach Rel, who's his mid man, says it. Listen, man, that man walks around 145,
maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's small.
He's a small guy, bro. He does not walk around here. You know, he says he can any given Sunday. Shakur's walking around 147 pounds, 145 pounds on any given Sunday.
He's like Pacquiao, bro. He's small.
Right. So there's a difference between him doing what everybody's asking him to do versus, let's say, what Terrence did with Canelo, where with Terrence he was cutting less weight to fight Canelo. He wasn't putting on weight. He just cut less weight. With Shakur, we're asking him to be bigger, but more importantly, the man has communicated that fight doesn't interest him because of his reasons. Why are we more interested in seeing that fight happen than Keyshawn, who's walking around LA in a wife beater with a brick in his hand looking for Devin Haney? You know what I'm saying?
Because we were literally asking for Devin Haney versus Shakur before we even knew who the fuck Keyshawn Davis was. And my thing is, when you're talking about Keyshawn Davis being big, I don't see it that way. When Keyshawn was at 135, Shakur was at 135. When Keyshawn and this was both of their first fight at 140 on the same night. He's not bigger. They're the same guy. They're doing tag team champion shit, and I don't like it. I feel like Keyshawn literally didn't fight Edwin De Los Santos on purpose because I don't want to embarrass my brother. You had a shitty performance with Edwin De Los Santos, and if I go out here and knock him the fuck out, that's gonna look badly upon my brother, and I don't want that for my brother. Exactly. But I have Claymore. That's why you got me, the visionary for the bullshit, because it's nonsense.
Hey, and you know what, Trees? All really good points. That's why we like you on the channel. Can I just say, first of all, shout out to Edwin De Los Santos, Zuffa boxing signee. Secondly, he'll probably fight Mark Magsayo, another new Zuffa boxing signee. And if you guys aren't paying attention, Kolmatov, former Fight of the Year, former world champion that Raymond Ford beat, he signed with Zuffa just a few days ago. And the undefeated Andres Cortez from Top Rank signed with Zuffa. So, and back to you, Trees. Let me say this first of all. The reason why we're not putting pressure on Shakur Stevenson is the same reason why we have not put pressure on Devin Haney. Devin Haney had a great win. Remember, me and Clay talked about this. We even said all the ways Devin could win. Everybody attacked us for picking Norman, whatever. That's fine. Devin won. We've been giving Devin his flowers since fucking November. Pardon my French, right? We are continuing to give Devin his flowers, right? Shakur just won on the 31st, bro. It's only the 16th. Can we give the man a break?
Can he be great? Can he live in his?
I'm just celebrating.
Can he have some time with?
I can't see, but Claymore, you know, I'm the one person who's not gonna do that because I'm the only person who I do not want that fucking fight. Don't fight it's bullshit. I don't need to see you fight Teofimo. You're gonna fuck up 2 divisions in boxing. Actually, it's been 3. You fucked up 135, you're fucking up 140, and now you're currently fucking up 147 as well. Shakur he's a nuisance. You're bullshitting. Every champion at 135, he's a nuisance, cuz. Every champion at 135 was undefeated, and you coming up to 140 to fuck with a guy who got a loss who I didn't ask you to fight. You see what I'm saying? So no, I'm not giving no grace. No, I'm not getting off his ass because I didn't ask for that bullshit fight in the first place. No. You will not get a pass from me. You see me? Shakur is a bullshit artist, and y'all acting like it's okay. We're not going for that. Shaki Foster, shout out to Nick J because I'm looking at it, and she's accurate as shit. Shaki Foster, you feel me? Needs that opportunity with Shakur Stevenson. He acting like he don't see that man down there. That's bullshit. Why you keep sicking your little guys on the fights that we want to see you in? Now all of a sudden Raymond Ford got to fight Shaki Foster now. This is bullshit.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and that's cute.
That's all he's saying.
And that's cute.
Trying to fight me, fight the guy who's been calling you out, chasing you around. You calling my?
But he been chasing you around,
little guy. I'm calling.
But he been
calling my guy guy. I'm calling you the little guy.
He just won a belt in your division, gang. I can't go for that shit. This is nonsense. Man just had an interim in your division. You see me? He gave it up because you scurried up. Because you're scurrying. Because you scurried up to a division.
Why ain't he hang around and fight another fight?
Because Shakur just because the fight that I wanted at that division, man saying, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna come back down here." So it's like, why would I stick around for a fight that I want that I can't get? That's bullshit. Of course I'm not. I gotta weigh my options. I got to see what Lamont Roach is talking about.
You were talking about Tank, and you were talking about all those fights, man. You know, go fight Hadir Herrera. Go collect that title and become a full champion, and go fight Raymond. You know what I mean? Get your stuff together and get ready to go to 140 and chase. Shakur ain't going nowhere. He probably coming back.
He went. That's the thing. He went somewhere. That's my point. Let me ask you. He went somewhere. That's the point we're trying to make.
That's not right quick. He had a "I'll be right back" sign on the window. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He stepped off real quick.
He had to go. He went fishing. Going fishing. That's bullshit. We don't like that.
Right back.
We don't like it.
Right.
Dean Lele going fishing right quick. We'll be right back. Dean Lele.
Hey man, but we need to get some bait on that hook then for motherfucking Shakur. If you want to go fishing something, let's get some bait out here because he act like he don't see who Gary Antoine Russell is. I know he's not about to fight Keyshawn. It's like, what are you doing? You're holding up multiple divisions, brother. It's sickening.
Okay, so hold on, Trees. Hold on, Trees.
16 days.
Okay, yes, and secondly, he's not holding up the 135 division because Mauricio Sulaiman stripped him. So he's technically not even a 135er now because he got stripped. Yeah, so there you go. So what he's doing, I just want to respond, Trees. What he's doing is the same thing Terrence Crawford did when everybody was saying, no one asked for this Canelo fight. This Terrence Crawford Canelo fight's ridiculous. And we saw that 47 million people watched it.
But you talk, but see,
that, I mean,
but Reyes, you talk that.
Hold on, Trees. Hold on. Let me finish. So all I'm trying to say is, just like we've been giving Dev his flowers, we've been giving Dev the break. I haven't heard Claymore asking for Devin Haney to fight somebody. I know I haven't really. I mean, I was just kind of half joking with the Charlo thing because that was more about Charlo than it was about Dev. But Dev is the best 147-pound champion out there. We've been giving him his flowers, and now we're giving Shakur his flowers. He's the best 140-pound fighter. If Shakur would like to stay at 140, he has every right to do it. Trees. Dalton Smith's right there. If he wants to do that fight, Richardson Hitchens winner between him and Oscar Duarte, right? It's right there. If Shakur wants to do that fight, Gary Antoine Russell, it's right there if he wants to do that fight. Dare I say, Lamont Roach, who got robbed again with a draw, Lamont Roach is right there. So if Shakur wants to do any of that, hey man, hey, all to you, number 3 pound for pound fighter in the world.
Yeah.
And if Shakur wants to get the bag and go to the UK and fight a Conor Benn, who, by the way, agreed to the rehydration clause. Hey man, why am I mad at Shakur?
Let me ask you a question. Reyes. And first off, let me get this off real quick. First off, Crawford gets grace from me with that Canelo shit because I'm one of them guys who what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I know for a fact if Earl Spence had to beat Crawford, right? Errol Spence and fucking Canelo would have been fighting in Cowboy Stadium, and y'all don't give a fuck. So Crawford, you feel me? You beat him, therefore you get the Canelo fight. I had no problem with that shit. That's how it's supposed to go. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You feel me? To the victor go all the spoils. That's how this shit works. I was never mad at that. Now, with this shit, what you're talking about with Conor Benn, let me ask, when the fuck was the last time Conor Benn fought at 147? Exactly. So we're talking about motherfucker fighting at 147 and putting the rehydration on the motherfucker who ain't fought at 147 in 3 years. Get the fuck out of here. At 160.
Right to be petty if he feels like. Let me tell you something, bro. Shakur is right where Shakur is right now. He's allowed to move in the way that's going to benefit his pockets the best. He's allowed to do it, bro. He wasn't allowed to do it for so long. He couldn't get the big bag money fight. He couldn't be the A side. He couldn't do it. He didn't have the push. He didn't have the resume. He didn't have all the things, I guess, that people needed to see for him to do it. He's earned the right to go get some money, man.
Go
and
get
that's
your
what
money.
Conor Ben is. Money. It's not about everything else. It's about money. And we don't talk about fighters' money here like that. But at the end of the day, I can step to the side, recognize the play, and let Shakur do what he does. Because I know when it's all said and done, he will give us more signature fights. He will, if he builds his brand up, that's who he is. He's going to try to fight the best. But right now, in this moment, while I'm in my bag, while I've got this momentum, I'm going to use it accordingly, bro. Because you know why? I got my fiance, who's going to be my wife soon, to answer to. I got my daughter to answer to. I got my team to answer to, and I owe them the most money that we can make as a family, and that's what I'm going to do. And if Conor Ben checks the boxes, so be it. You guys sat, not you, Treese.
Yeah, not you, Treese.
But you guys sat to the side and allowed Tank to go chase money and make money and do his thing. You allowed Devin to go chase and make money and do his thing.
Why
you allowed
not?
some of these fighters out here to go move around, me in particular, around me in particular, not fight me and go make money. And I had to respect the game when that was happening. I had to be like, I get it. But now it's my turn. But you guys can't respect the game for me. You can't allow me to move. It's 16 days. It's 16 days. I haven't even made a fight yet happen.
Man, he hasn't
and all
even
of a
got on
sudden, I gotta go
vacation
in
yet.
and fight Mumra. I gotta go fight Godzilla. I gotta go fight fucking, you know what I'm saying, Skeletor. I can't go and make a quick fight happen that's gonna get me some money in my pocket because I haven't done enough to prove to you guys anything because I'm not giving you the fight you quote unquote ask for. So I'm all in support of Shakur. Let Shakur do him, and we can look away and look at Keyshawn make the big fight with Devin Haney.
Yeah, why not?
Devin make a big fight with Xander. We can look at something else happen, and we can look at what Shakur's doing, and we can recognize it for what it is, which is he's going to get himself some money. And what's wrong with that?
Right. And let me
go ahead.
Hold on, Trace, just real quick on this. And the fact that, again, as boxing fans, right, Shakur's doing us a favor. The fact that now everybody, I mean, the fact that Ryan Garcia and his dad said, hey, we'll come down to fight Shakur. Ryan Garcia is one of the biggest mainstream stars out there, dude. I mean, like it or not, he's closer to the Jake Paul trajectory of that stardom. And the fact that he said, hey, man, you know, after I do the Mario's fight, more than happy to come down to fight at 140. And then Shakur responded by saying, hey, no, bro, you don't even got to come down to 140. How about we just do it at 144, right? I mean, why not? Why not let Shakur get the bag?
I expect him to say that because, of course, the last time that Ryan was supposed to fight at 140, you missed the weight. Of course, I'll meet you because I don't think you can get down here. That's what you're supposed to say. That's like with the counter. Say what? That's what I'm saying. But with the counter.
Or take all that into consideration and make that decision based off of all those factors. Why can't he be smart? Why can't he be strategic and get some money and fight somebody who's willing to put themselves in a deficit to fight him, and Turkey's willing to pay him to do that? Why shouldn't he? What's wrong with that? Why can't he be why can't he move with purpose? Why can't
that's not moving with purpose? Like you just a guy depleting yourself to fight me. That's not moving with purpose. That's not challenging yourself.
Hey,
I get it. I get what you're saying. I just it's not the fight that Lamont Roach I can get behind. We can fuck with that. I can give him. I fuck with that. But the Gary Antoine Rush, things of that nature. But when we talking about Conor Beans and shit like this, who ain't fought at 147 in 3 years, and you trying to put him on a rehydration clause. It's silly to me. And when I'm hearing you talking about 147-pound fighters,
it might be silly for Conor. You might be right. It might be silly for Conor.
That's silly, bro. It's crazy speak. But talk to me.
No, Treese. But okay, can I just add this? And I was talking with Clay back and forth about this today, where Eddie Hearn's gonna need to respond to what Dana called him, which is basically you just a daddy's boy and you're not really doing nothing. And I think Eddie's got the balls to go respond. So the response I was saying to Clay is, How about if Eddie Hearn puts on a UK showcase, bro, where he has Shakur fight Dalton Smith, and on the same co-feature card, he has Conor Benn fight Lewis Crocker. And the reason why I was saying that, Treese, is because if Conor Benn's willing to agree to the rehydration clause that Shakur put on him, then that means the IBF belt's no problem. And now you can have Conor Benn fight Lewis Crocker for the IBF. You can still have Rolly fight Shakram for the WBA, right? And you could call that entire thing UK versus everyone or whatever you want to do and fill out Wembley Stadium close to 100,000. And if you really want to take it to another level, you know, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Josh Kelly versus Xander on the same card? That would be crazy, bro, in the UK. That'd be a crazy UK versus everybody. But I don't know. What do you think, Treese?
I like it. I'm with the Dalton Smith fight. I like that for Shakur. That's what I'm saying. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, because I was asking for Matias and Shakur to fight. Dalton Smith, you beat Matias, you get the Shakur fight. I'm not opposed to that. You see me? I'm a logical guy. I just want logical fights. That kind of being shit ain't logical to me. Motherfucking, like I said, that man ain't fought at 147 in 3 years. And you telling me you want to put him on rehydration. That's not logical. That's nonsense. I'm not into that. You feel me? We can do them type of fight. Okay, I like that. I do like the idea of that card, the UK card. I'm like that. I like that a lot, actually. We can get behind that. But it's just, Shakur, you got to come logical, man. This Teofimo shit, like I say, that's the only reason why I can't give man grace, because I didn't need you to do that. That was foolishness from the get. And I thought it was window dressing.
Yo, did y'all hear about Manny Pacquiao, who he's fighting?
Yeah. I said that earlier. Remember, Clay?
Oh, you did.
I said that already.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. And that's an
exhibition.
That's an exhibition off the table for Devin.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I feel exactly. But it's crazy because Devin Haney, in my opinion, like I told you, he fucked up the star power a while. He fucked that up a while ago. I didn't expect him to get the Pacquiao fight. I would have liked him to get the Pacquiao fight. I would have thought that would have made some sense. But in my opinion, I'm under the impression that Devin Haney, I said this a while ago. Devin Haney, you got to become a spectacle guy. From now, like your event got to be bigger than the guy that you fighting. Type shit. Like if you're gonna fight a Jack Catterall or things of this, you got to go to the UK for some shit like that. Right. You feel me? If you're gonna fight, maybe you can do a Blair Cobbs or some shit like this, but you got to take that to Atlanta. You got to take that to the Chase. The Chase Arena in Oakland or something like that. You see what I'm saying? I like Blair. I think Blair Cobbs is a good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I wanted Adrian Broner for Devin Haney. Blair Cobbs beat him. Blair Cobbs, you in line for a Devin Haney fight now. That's how I feel.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna get in front of nobody doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this, right? I'll say this. Ooh, that caught me off guard. You caught me with that went left field me. That
was really good though, Treese. That was really good.
Yeah, that came
if guys is talking about Tiger Johnson, why the fuck can I talk about Blair Cobbs? That's what I'm saying,
bro. I'm not even there. I'm just saying, didn't even think about that, to say the least. Didn't even consider that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you need a visionary like myself.
That's why you here, bro. That was a legitimate, okay, well, hey, man, listen, do what you can. I think at the end of the day, Devin Haney has fights he can make happen, but clearly he's looking for the fight to check certain boxes. You know, a fight with Tiger Johnson, Blair Cobbs, Jack Catterall. You know, there's some fighters, Rohan Polanco. You know what I'm saying? There's fighters there. If Devin wants to make a fight, I'm sure he can make a fight. You know what I'm saying? But is he trying to make a fight or is he trying to make the fight? If the fight got to be significant, if it's got to have a big payday, if it's got to make sense and check all these boxes, if he's got to bring this fight to Turki Al-Sheikh and put it on the table and say, this is my next fight, does Turki need to be like, I like it, my friend? If he does, then he needs to be, you know, he has to be very intentional with his matchmaking, without a doubt. But at the end of the day, bro, these fighters have options. Some of them like their options, some of them don't like their options. Right now, it looks like the option that's on the table for Devin is Keyshawn. It looks like that's the one. It looks like that fits into a bigger picture, into a bigger card that Turki wants to put together. And I think Bill Haney has more than made himself clear that whatever Turki likes, we love it. Right? Am I bugging? Right?
I get it. So I get it. If that's what we're left with is the Keyshawn fight, as a Devin Haney fan, I guess I'd have to accept it because, like I said, when he fight, I'm watching. It's that simple. So I suppose I just had to get behind it. Although I'm gonna be wagging my finger at the TV like the old man. This is nonsense, and I don't like it. But hey, hey, it is what it is. But like I say, man, I just think it's other things that we can do, and if we come we got to come spectacle, Dad. If with some of these guys, we got to come spectacle. Catterall in the UK, I can get behind them.
To an elephant in the room, can we speak to an elephant in the room that may rub some people in the room the wrong way? Can I speak to an elephant that's sitting in the corner of the room when it comes to Devin Haney?
Okay, go ahead, Clay.
Talk to me.
I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I just gotta say it because we let's not talk around it because we want to see Devin do better as far as getting bigger fights. We want to see it be a little easier for him.
Yes,
Devin has to consider taking more risk and start considering entertaining the fans a little bit more to become more must-see boxing.
Yeah,
is that a fair?
I think now before
I'm actually in the. Oh, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
No, but before Trees goes, I agree in the sense that what we watch, and again, man, this is gonna trigger people. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just going off of a fight that we just saw. That was a big event. It was sold out. Madison Square Garden is a big deal, but Shakur didn't take a step back fighting Tio, man. He kept coming forward. He was whooping him with that jab, right? Going forward. And again, props to Devin Haney, who's the best 147-pound fighter in the world. But when Turkey Al-Sheikh speaks on the Tom and Jerry, I know I'm gonna get attacked for this, Clay.
He's not talking about Shakur anymore, even if he was at some point. He ain't talking about him no more.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about because the minute that happened, Shakur did Turkey the William Cepeda. It's like, I'll show you Tom and Jerry. And ever since that, he hasn't taken a step back. In the meantime, I guess if we are going to go back to the Tom and Jerry comment.
It's an elephant in the room. Shout out to the best 147-pounder in the world, by the way, respectfully. I don't think it'll go over. We'll still be criticizing him, but I just want to say for you this time. You already said it.
But respectfully, Tom and Jerry is one of the most watched cartoons in the world. And that's what I get what you're saying. When we're talking about fan friendly, excuse me. I get it. But if Devin, you keep doing what you're doing, Devin, motherfuckers is going to tune in to watch you lose. They don't like you. I feel like you got the way that they hate you is the way that we love you. They say jealousy it's a thin line between love and hate. You understand me? And it's the same thing. People, they going to tune in either way. They want to see you get beat on. When Brian Norman's a knockout artist. He's young. He's got a dangerous life. Motherfuckers thought they was gonna beat Devin, and God knows we knew better over here. With feet so sweet they have to cheat to compete. I knew better, and that's what I'm saying. No matter what, these guys is gonna tune in, and it's sad to say because win or lose with this Ryan Garcia motherfucker, he could lose this weekend, and no matter what, that's always gonna be a fallback option for Devin. Ryan Garcia is still gonna be there because like Reyes said, I can't unsee what I saw, even though it was bullshit. So that's what Devin Haney, people always gonna tune in to Devin Haney no matter what, because they want to see him lose. As boring as he is, as much as he's slugging and hugging, jabbing and grabbing, when you flinch, he'll clinch. They gonna watch because they want to see him get his shit knocked loose. And it's that simple. Joseph
Jackson said, when did Dev run? I don't think Dev ran, but
no, we're not saying he didn't run. What he didn't do though, and just respectfully,
he didn't push his foot on the gas. He didn't
exactly because he hurt him. He hurt him. He could have finished him, and he didn't.
He's gone for it.
And by the way, you're not going to hear like me and Clay hate on a strategy because this is what we talk about all the time. We're like, hey man, in a football game, right? In a football game, Treese, when the Raiders are ahead by 40 points, why in the hell would we let the starters continue to play with like
risk injuries unnecessarily?
No, we understand the win. We celebrate the win. We continue to celebrate the win. We're just trying to say that in a sport in where people do want to see a Zuffa boxing style and where 6 out of 8 were knockouts, right? Knockout of the year candidate already last Sunday to the co-promotions or the co-main event. We saw a moment where he knocked down Brian Norman. He stared at Brian Norman. He was like, yeah, what's up now? Right? So we as a fan were kind of like, yeah. Let's see you finish him. And he didn't. And that's okay. But he didn't. But that's okay.
Yeah, but when we're talking about,
and that's okay.
When the conversation is, you know, when we're seeing him having a hard, you know, when you're looking at Conor Benn on Eddie Hearn's shoulder, right? Even though he was being sarcastic, he was making a statement to say that, you know, I'm not interested in mixing it up with that type of fighter. You know what I'm saying? Respect to his skill set, but I'm not necessarily that interested in doing that. So, you know, I'm saying if you can, do it. If you can't, fight the way you're fighting. But if you can, you know, I mean, that's why I kind of like this Keyshawn Davis fight, because I really do believe that Keyshawn will bring that out of him, because Keyshawn won't let him off the hook. He won't allow him to just coast. Keyshawn won't. He will press him. He will attack that body. He will cut that ring off. He will put Devin in danger, where Devin will be forced to do what he said he would do to Brian Norman, which is demonstrate. And we want to just see Devin Haney demonstrate, bro. And I think the quicker he gets to that part of the game, when he gets into that chapter of his career where he starts to demonstrate and starts letting that brick can go and starts knocking people down and starts becoming aggressive and must-see boxing like that, because he's must-see boxing in his own way. But he seems like he's growing into the division very comfortably in 147. Seems like he's bigger and stronger. And I could understand a little bit more when he was at 140, 135, to where maybe the punch resistance wasn't there and he was being a little bit more aware of getting hit. But it seems like he's in his own backyard where he wants to be. He seems very comfortable, bro. Let's see the performances turn up a little bit, man. That's all I'm saying. Am I bugging, Trees?
Hey, man, I'm not, like I say, we slugging and hugging, we jabbing and grabbing. I don't give a damn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is boxing. It's not knockout. So hey, I'm fucking with him.
I call the fight, and it intrigues me. I'm a real boxing fan. I like those fights. I like the Brian Norman fight, but I'm saying I'm just addressing the elephant in the room as far as what the space has been complaining about for years when it comes to him, and the reasoning supposedly behind the lack of, you know, why it's always so difficult for him to make these fights. I mean, but like Nick J says, they always find a way to make it. It always happens. They find a way. They're working through it. But it does seem like
but my thing is, Claymore, I don't always, guys don't find a way to complain about any fucking, like when Wilder was knocking people's shit loose, people were still complaining about what? That's all he got is the right hand. He ain't got no skill. That's all he can do. People gonna complain no matter what, gang. So it's like, beat these motherfuckers up. Jab and grab, slug and hug, hook and hold. Do what we have to do, gang. I fuck with winners. I don't care about, I like winners. I don't care how we get it done, you feel me? Methodical. If you got to knock, you do what you need to do. It is what it is. I like winners. And that's why I like Devin Haney. But shout out to ATP. And like I say, ATP, I know it might be at this point, but look at me. ATP stands for appreciate the platform. Shout out to y'all. You understand me? And shout out Jared Anderson. Hey, I know y'all be talking that Zuffa boxing. I think y'all might have a new acquisition. Shout out to my dog. But y'all be cool, man. Y'all be cool.
Trees, always.
He said it. We ain't say it. He said it.
Hey, look, man, when that announcement comes, it'll probably come maybe later this week. But all we're saying is that's what we heard. Jared Anderson, Andy Ruiz.
You might have some company out there, Mozzie. You might have some good fights coming your way, man.
Yeah.
So,
and I wouldn't mind seeing Mozzie actually fight Charles Martin. Yeah, I know. I mean, because the thing about, and again, let's give Charles Martin some grace, former world champion, but he lost to the current ranked number 8. I think F.A. Jabba's ranked number 8 in the world at Ring Magazine. Like, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. And for someone like Mozzie, if he, you know, his dad had said he'd be more than happy to have his son fight one of those guys. Well, Charles Martin got knocked out, but if Charles Martin's CT scan comes back and he's not, you know, I'd like to see that fight in May, right? Like, why not? Charles Martin versus Van Houter. What do you think, Clay?
I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Build the young bull up, man. He has so much promise, legitimately in the conversation for the future of American heavyweight boxing, age-wise, physically. He has those attributes, boxing-wise. You know, the interview was great and so telling on as far as like what he admires in the game, the IQ and his ability to execute on that, right? To be the boxer, to have the movement, to be fundamentally sound and responsible, but still dangerous with the power in that right hand and still knocking people out with his left hand. Hasn't even really the right hand to use yet the way it could be. So much on the positive side, so much on the growth side. You can't help but put some stock into what his future might be, man. I think it's great, man. Shout out to Talker SD and Bell.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that right now, man. I appreciate you and thank you guys. I know it hasn't been a lot of people in the building that have been coming in and out. There's a lot of channels going crazy right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of channels, and again, our whole thing is, we put the content out into replay, gang. Always happens. Most important thing is the quality. Also, right? We're not just like talking out of our asses or anything. We actually took the time to prepare to give you guys a good show. The title tonight was about vision, and the vision for 2026. Claymore, are you kidding me, bro? Like we literally went from January and where we saw great knockouts, right? We're sitting there and like just follow this trajectory for a second, Clay. We watched Dalton Smith. He knocks out Subriel Matias. We're sitting there in January going, oh my God, that might be knockout of the year. Certainly that might be round of the year or fight of the year candidate. Wow, what an amazing thing. Then we watched Shushu Carrington, 5-piece, knockout, crying in the ring, right? Amazing knockout. We're sitting there going, oh my gosh, that might be knockout of the year. That was crazy, right? And then what, Clay? What? 2 weeks later, we are the next week, Hot Rod, and we're like, oh my God, he came back from behind and knocked out Vosnik. That might be a candidate for knockout of the year, right? And just this past Sunday, we watched the man. I promise we were going to get your name right. The Zvenkov.
You keep on trying to say it if you want.
I know, man. I promise.
No, number love. That's why it's gonna be off. I ain't gonna even do it.
No, we're gonna when we get by the time we
ain't butchering your shit.
I promise by the time we get you on the show to interview you, we're gonna get it all right. We're gonna say it. Me and Clay are gonna damn well speak Russian by the time you get over here. Although
AOJ, I see you in the background. Let me see your face right quick. Make sure you're a person, man. That's all.
Yeah, he speaks English, by the way, so perfect English. But man, that knockout, bro, that might be knockout of the year, and that just happened on Sunday. So you know,
what's good?
What's up, Jay?
My bad. I got my bonnet on, man. My bad.
Yeah, definitely for the bonnet. Diabolical. For sure.
Yeah, all good, Jay. All good.
What's good, family?
Claymore, I've been listening to your podcast. I remember when you had Greg on there and you be on that shit. Really enjoy your podcast, bro. Just want to salute you and tell you, you know what I'm saying, really enjoy your takes on these fights and everything, bro. With the Keyshawn, I think Keyshawn could beat Dev, bro. And I actually said this to Camille, my grandpa. We watch boxing a lot. His favorite boxer was Lennox Lewis. But I really feel like even if Keyshawn gets dropped, I still think he could beat Dev. I just feel like it's that fire. It's like he's really confident. I was just watching Greg tape, and I respect everything what Greg say. Yeah, he probably could be moving fast, but it's like at the same time, it's like I got a feeling he really wants this fight. Like he really wants to fight Devin. You get what I'm saying? And then when you have that confidence in yourself, I feel like you just unstoppable. But the downside about that is, because I got to give my pros and my cons. Are you moving up to fight Dev because Shakur moved up to fight Teal? Are you following Shakur footsteps? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you playing follower, or you really got a mind for your own? Because that could hit left too. Because if you lose to Dev, because Dev got Mickey Bay, and Mickey Bay is a real excellent coach. You know what I'm saying? If you lose to Dev, now it's like, you're not gonna really be back at square one, because Keyshawn is young. Keyshawn is 26. But it was like, I went up there, I challenged myself, and I lost. You're gonna gain a lot of respect, because I know for sure he's gonna push the issue to Dev. And I feel like depending on who he sparred, because I'm pretty sure he'd be around the Wally Moses camp with his team. And I'm pretty sure they got good sparring partners, especially he got Shakur in it. Not saying Shakur is a boxer like Devin, but he's kind of similar as far as being a boxer. I don't think Shakur is as quick as Dev, but he's patient like Dev. You get what I'm saying? I don't see Devin Haney going in there trying to manhandle Keyshawn, because Keyshawn like to fight. Keyshawn will fight. He'll bring the fight to you. But I kind of could see Keyshawn being patient, because of if he spars Shakur going to teach you patience. You get what I'm saying? You can't rush in there with Shakur. So I think if he spars Shakur, even spar, I don't know other guys he might spar, but sparring Shakur will probably get you ready for Devin Haney. Will get you ready for Devin Haney. And Greg said something that's very similar. You really don't need power to knock somebody out. It could just be a right shot. It could just be you being unbalanced. It could just be you coming in wild. You never know. Everybody think you need power to knock out somebody. You really don't. It could be you coming in, being unbalanced. It could be you being lazy to put your hand up to cover your face right there. It could be just the right shot. It don't even have to be a power shot. Look how Josh Kelly knocked down Murder. It wasn't even a power shot. It was a jab, but Murder came in with his hands down. You get what I'm saying? So it could be the simplest things, bro. I do think Keyshawn has that dog in him to beat Devin Haney, but to beat Devin Haney, you're going to have to be really, really, really disciplined. I don't feel like the stage is big enough for him, because Keyshawn been to the Olympics. Keyshawn been on the stage. I ain't going to say been, like the Olympics is a huge stage, but it's an international stage, right? You're going across the world and you challenge other people, other boxers, other people from different countries, and you're learning a lot. But at the same time, I do feel like he has the assets and he has the skills and he has determination to beat Devin Haney. I really do think that. And I don't think, me personally, I don't think Devin wants to get in a bang with Keyshawn. Because I think Keyshawn is that type of person, like he wants to bang with you. But I think how Keyshawn wins is if you spar Shakur and Shakur teach you how to be patient and pick your shots. I think that's how he wins. Because with Devin, the knockdown from Brian Norman, nobody saw that coming. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, how he got knocked down. If you look back, Brian had his hand up on his face, but Dev, the way how Dev did it, he punched through. You get what I'm saying? That punch still landed through. It still hit his face and he went down. You get what I'm saying? Nobody knew he was going to be a knockdown. But I feel like Keyshawn is better than Brian Norman. I feel like Keyshawn has better footwork than Brian Norman. And when Keyshawn said on the Maze and Cam show that I know I could stop him, you never know, bro. Devin Haney's a warrior. He got dropped down 3 times versus Ryan, if not 3-4 times, and still finished the fight. You get what I'm saying? He has that warrior mentality. But have he fought anybody like Keyshawn Davis? Loma's not Keyshawn Davis. Linares is not Keyshawn Davis. Brian Norman is not Keyshawn Davis. Ryan Garcia is not Keyshawn Davis. And another thing you got to think, though, Keyshawn is, besides him coming overweight, 8 pounds versus De Los Santos, Keyshawn is always in good shape.
100%.
He's always in good shape. He's always working. And because I think, even though he did things in the past, you know what I'm saying, that kind of looked at him a different way, you know what I'm saying? We all did things. And I'm not going to look past that, because I did want to see him versus De Los Santos. I agree with Greg. But if he goes up there and let's just say he beats Devin Haney, what are we going to say about Keyshawn? Is he serious now? Is he more disciplined now? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Look at Devin Haney's resume. Yeah, he's Debo. Yeah, he's this. Yeah, he's that. But I'm looking at it like this. Devin Haney could go up and fight Xander, right? They see something in Xander. But to me, I think Keyshawn is a harder fight than Xander. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think Keyshawn is up. But Xander's 23.
Without a doubt, Keyshawn brings those intangibles that like I said earlier, force Devin, in my opinion, to box out of his comfort zone. Whereas I think Xander may literally, I think Xander can do it as well, but Xander doesn't bring that explosive, that mean streak that Keyshawn has him. He has that mean streak, man, and he can force Devin to demonstrate, like he was forced to demonstrate against Brian Norman. And I think he can hurt Devin. You know what I'm saying? I legitimately believe, like he said, with that brick, when he picked up that brick, you know what I'm saying? And he said, I'm gonna hit you with that brick. I think Keyshawn got a brick that he can hit Devin with. So that just makes the fight intriguing and very interesting, man. And I ain't mad at you, Jake, at all as far as believing Keyshawn could win. Why not, bro? He's a special fighter, man. For sure.
It's different ways to skin a cat, right? And it's different ways to knock somebody out, correct? Can we all agree, right?
100%.
The thing about Bill Haney, he knows how to move Devin. And I'm not going to say anything bad about Devin Haney. Is Devin Haney my favorite fighter? No. My favorite fighter is Tank Davis. But I'm not going to bash somebody when they're doing the right thing and they staying in the gym and they building their resume. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to bash Dev. You get what I'm saying? Do I like Devin Haney as a fighter? Yes, he's just not my favorite fighter. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just when I see Keyshawn and versus the Jermaine Ortiz, even though Jermaine Ortiz is nothing compared to Devin Haney, he just looks like he could bang with Devin. You get what I'm saying? He just looks like he can bang with Devin. And you got to think, too, it's not just going to be his coaches from Virginia. Wally Moses is going to be in that camp with him. You get what I'm saying? Other people who help Shakur is going to be in that camp with him. He's probably going to spar Raymond Ford, probably going to spar Shakur. Shit, he might, never know. He might end up sparring Bud. You never know, because Bud be around him a lot of times. You never know. Not taking anything away from Devin Haney, because I got to give it to him. Devin Haney got one of the best resumes. Went undisputed, the youngest undisputed at 135. Not taking nothing away from him. But can we really sit here and say, is Keyshawn moving too fast, or he just wants to prove himself?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm, because I hear people say, oh, he got to slow down. He moving too fast. But didn't they push Loma fast too?
Right.
They rushed Loma. And Loma lost, and he got another title shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's young. He's 26, just like Xander. If Xander takes this fight versus Devin, is he moving too fast?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I mean, he's a champion as well, but
but the thing is, Jay, and this is what I was saying to Treese when he was on, and I don't know, by the way, Clay, is my mic echoing off of Jay's mic? Is that what's happening?
No, that's mine. I'm gonna mute myself whenever I talk.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, no, it's what we were saying with Treese is that anything, we're in a good space now in boxing, and where there are so many great talented fighters that the fact that we can discuss them, right? Like, hey, let's match up this person, let's match up that person. This is great. And now that there's so many options for these fighters to fight each other, thanks again. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh, who really made a lot of this happen off the I guess influence of Terrence Bud Crawford making the fight with Errol Spence. But Turkey Al-Sheikh's been giving a chance for everybody to fight each other. But Treese, man, I'll address what you're saying on the chat. Look, brother, Jay, his grandpa, they've been watching boxing for forever. And grandpa's favorite fighter is Lennox Lewis. Shout out to the most dominant heavyweight of that time. And I remember, Treese, when they were saying that the reason why Sugar Ray Leonard never gave Aaron Pryor a chance had nothing to do with the fact that Aaron Pryor was smaller. It all had to do with the fact that a lot of people believed Aaron Pryor would have knocked him out. And that's all Jay's trying to say. Jay's saying, yeah, maybe Keyshawn's smaller, but there's a different style to it. Versus Xander, I don't know, Clay. I feel like if Xander and Dev did fight each other, it would be more of a boxing chess match.
Facts.
I don't necessarily think Xander's trying to knock out Devin more than it'll become like a jab battle. But Keyshawn's different. Keyshawn got some of that Aaron Pryor in him. So that's all what Jay said.
He got some of that Terrence Bud Crawford in him.
The difference,
I'm saying?
The difference between Keyshawn and Dev, and I don't care what nobody in the chat say, is that Keyshawn gonna finish the job. Keyshawn gonna drop you, but he don't care about. He want to stop you. Dev will drop you, but the fight gonna still continue. You get what I'm saying? Keyshawn not just trying to hurt you. He's trying to stop. He's trying to send shots. He's trying to let you know, like, I don't even want you to get off your stool. Like, I'm trying to hurt you. I don't care. I'm trying to kill you in this ring. And I feel like a little bit is because I remember when Shakur was saying this in the interview that him and Dev used to hang with each other, and Dev used to bring him to the mansion. And then Dev used to tell Shakur, I don't know if y'all saw the little interview, why you got that, that youngin' riding, I'm saying that youngin' around you, he a kid. Like at the time, I think Keyshawn was like 16. And Shakur was like, nah, he good. He gonna come. He's like, nah, man, he a little kid. So in the back of Keyshawn mind, like, okay, I'm a little kid. I got you. We gonna fight someday. And now today's the day. I'm not little no more. You gotta come see me. But as I tell people, and this is just my opinion, Bill moving strategically. Because if you really want to challenge yourself, Bill, you know who to fight at 54. You know who to fight at 54. And it ain't Xander. And it ain't Virgil. That's all I'm gonna say. If you really want to fight at 54, it ain't Xander. It ain't none of the belt holders. You know exactly who it is.
It is what it is.
Hey, Jay got a good point.
Nah, listen, man. Like I said, there's an elephant. There's always going to be an elephant in the room with Devin. And listen, once again, respectfully, the best 147-pounder in the world, hands down. No, I think he beats everybody at 147 pounds.
In fact, what proves it too, Clay, just so that we can keep it statistical and factual, is Devin Haney's the only 147-pound champion currently on the pound-for-pound list right now. There's no other one. So he is the best. Yes. He's the best. He's the best without the Ring Magazine title, mainly because, and I'm going to say, Jay, the last lineal Ring Magazine champion is Jerome Boots Ennis, who chose to leave and go to 154. So, Devin's has got to go fight somebody else, I guess, Lewis Crocker or what do you think, Clay? What would you do? How would you give Devin the Ring Magazine championship? Who would he have to fight in your eyes? Would it be Ryan or Barrios?
Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios.
Okay. And automatically you'll give him the belt. You'll 100%. Say, hey.
It'll be a unification. I believe there's an argument there to say that Mario Barrios is number 2 in the division. You know what I'm saying? I think there's an argument to say that, and there it goes. That's the 1 and the 2 fighting for the unification. That's a lineal title. And if Ryan Garcia wins it, he'll be the number 2. So the winner of that fight fights Devin. Devin becomes a unified lineal champion at 147. Just like that, But guys, it's about that time. I ain't gonna lie, man. We 3 hours in. It's getting to be about that time for me. You know what I mean? I'm starting to feel it in my eyes. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Jay, man. Thanks for coming up, man. Feel free to come up anytime. We put the link out there for sure. J Pit City says the elephant in the room is Mel Charlo. Nah, he's talking about Jerome Boots Ennis, brother.
Right.
That's the elephant in the room is. He's saying the elephant in the room is the last lineal champion of 147. Is the guy who's not holding any titles at 154, but is the guy who, without the signature fights, is arguably the best 154-pounder in the division, just hasn't been able to prove it or hasn't chose to prove it or hasn't, however you want to look at it. They're just waiting for that right fight. You put him in there with Jamel, he knocks out Jamel. I think
that'll be a hell of a talking point, Clay. If Jermell Charlo versus Boots Ennis happens on the back of Virgil having to deal with a lawsuit from Oscar, Josh Kelly's fighting Xander. So what is it? What's left? Oh, Fundura, who's fighting Thurman in a terrible undercard. I can't believe you guys are charging people $80 for that. It's diabolical. Look, not diabolical if you want to give it to us for free. You want to give it to us for free? Not diabolical at all. But you're giving it to us for $80? I'm paying less money for the Saturday. I'm literally paying less money.
That card is horrible.
Man.
The Zuffa cards are better than that card.
Yeah, amen. Hey, shout out to Zuffa. So,
it is, man. And it's not even like it's sad.
Oh man. So, but anyways, if Boots Ennis, Jermell Charlo happens April 18th, where the fight with Virgil Ortiz was supposed to happen, and he knocks out Charlo, it'd be tough not to say that Jerome Boots Ennis is at number 1, at the very least, as the 154 champ. Am I wrong? Am I bugging? Clay, am I bugging it?
You're not bugging at all, bro.
Right.
It is what it is. But it is what it is, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you. Hey, man, like the show, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody who popped in here and let us talk our shit, man. Shout out to everybody who came up on the panel, Toledo Trees. Shout out to Jay, man. You know what it is, man. Nothing but love for you guys, man. Until the next segment, man. It's that ATP Combat Media Show. And at this point, we out.
Make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense, I don't care.